and Twitch. We're going to be casting the Magma Open. This is part of the $10,000 series. I think there's $71 in prize pools for this particular tournament, but you could win a mystery ticket and get points for the $10,000 series final tournament, which I think is a $4,000 prize pool. Don't quote me on any of these numbers. I'm just casting the tournament. All right, just give me 1 second. I want to make sure we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on everything. There's a lot of buttons that need pushing. I think that looks good. I think that looks good. I'm gonna make sure I can actually see the chat this time, because that's been a concern in past streams. Because I gotta stack all these windows next to each other and make sure that I can see everything. All right, good, good. OBS on top of that. All right, hey Shiny, how are you doing? All right, I can see you. It's gonna get a little, oh, Macro Maps, yo, how are you doing? Wow, a bunch of folks on the Twitch today. All right, hopefully I can set this up so that I can still see everybody once I start the Discord spectating. That's always the biggest thing. But with any luck, we won't have any gremlins today. All right, the tournament starts in about 3 minutes. This is going to be an open deck format. It's a brand new format. The idea is that instead of the usual thing where, you have to lock in your deck for the whole tournament, this time the players can actually just change their decks whenever they want. So it's kind of a challenge of mind games and strategies. What are people playing in the last round? Should I counter that? Or counter the counter to that? Or just play the same deck the whole tourney. We'll see what people do. It'll be pretty exciting. Hey, Champion of Sock, how are you? This is gonna be a fun one. We start in about 2 minutes. So we can chat for a bit, show off the usual friends. We've got Sableye, who will be appearing to sabotage players' draws and RNGs, of course. Not really, but we like to pretend. And naturally, Psyduck will be popping in now and again to troll me and everybody else. So this is gonna be fun. We were doing the Magma Cup Cash Cup on Friday, yesterday on Preylux's stream. Had a lot of fun co-casting with Preylux. Great player. One of the best players. Like, Preylux just enters all the tournaments and wins them. Well, when they're on fire. It goes crazy. I need to get better. I need to get better. While we're waiting for the tournament to start, if it gets delayed, I don't think it's going to get delayed. I think it's going to start on time. But if it does, I'll do a quick round of ranked practice by Mimikyu. I'm just going to check in with the judges real quick. Give me a second. Make sure that everything looks good. Ooh, wow. I need to fix that. All right, just give me one quick moment. It occurs to me that I need to share the actual link to the live stream and stuff like that with people so that they have access to that. So just give me 1 second. Ooh, that link works. Okay, cool. Yes, I am good to go. Wait, you can't hear me. All right, just give me 1 second. I don't have mods, so I do all of the button pressing myself. Just gonna press some quick buttons to let people know where I'm doing this and whatnot. At everyone, wahahaha. All right, there we go. And just gonna put it here. Just letting people know that the stream is going on. Just letting folks know. It looks like we're gonna start the tournament on time, so the game will start in probably about a minute. That'll be exciting. Oh, a little allergic. And live tourney casting. There we go. All right. We should be good. The way this is gonna work is that all the players are gonna create these rooms in the Discord, and I'm gonna spectate those rooms, and then we should have access to everything. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right, how's everybody doing? I hope Hope everybody is well today. Had a little bit of a holiday, I understand, in the US. Hopefully other folks are good too. Macro maps, how did your stream with Night Fight and a phone book go? That's a phone booth. That's a Wargroove 2 map, not a not no one was actually fighting. Obviously, this is the name of a map in a video game. How did that go? All right, nice, nice. Appreciate that. We're on YouTube and Twitch, by the way. If you see me talking to someone and you don't see them in that chat, the reason is they're in the other chat. It was amazing, great. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad folks had fun. Yeah, that was an old map for kind of like an Advanced Wars like game I had made a long time ago. Macro Maps, who's an amazing streamer. By the way, you should check them out if you like Advanced Wars and Wargroove and stuff like that. They run a lot of events for the Wargroove 2 community. Hit me up the other day. It was like, "Hey, Sneaky, I want to repurpose your old map," and I was like, "Yeah, go for it." So it's been fun. It's been fun. Oh, some TA stuff. Yeah. No, that's always a struggle. The endless struggle, making sure the games are fair. I'm gonna take a look at the Discord real quick, see if we're gonna get started. Tournament should have begun. Let me see. Tournament news. Round 1 is now live. Awesome. I don't see any of the streams up, though. We're going to give the players a second to start their streams, but the first round is going live, so that's pretty good. We should see the streams any moment, and then I'll pick one for us to spectate. I'm curious how, like, the players will change decks between rounds. One thing I might do is follow, like, one player for a couple of rounds and see, like, if they stick with the same deck or how they mix it up. Kind of learn how that works, because I've never done an open deck format before. That'll be cool. I just muting for a second so you don't hear me blow my nose. It's not something you guys have to listen to. Oh, you're welcome, Shiny. Yeah, no, happy to cast. I love casting Pokemon Pocket stuff. Well, one of these days, one day, I will be one of those official Pokemon peoples. Hopefully, maybe. It's a dream, something to work towards. And I love doing these tournaments. They're so much fun. Thank you for having me. Yeah, Shiny Crown TCG, awesome. One of the main folks behind a lot of big events. You'll probably see them in like the GGB stuff, the Magma stuff. I am just waiting on some folks to stream their games. Shiny, do you happen to know if anybody is streaming their games? Because I know the first round started, but I don't see anybody in the channels. Gonna just ask the judges chat real quick if anybody is. Oh, we got somebody. We got somebody. Fallen is streaming. Let's check them out. Yes. But they are not deafened. If there are any moderators who have the ability to do that, because I can only server deafen them. I can't, I don't want to deafen them for the whole server just for this call. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Much appreciated. I don't want them hearing my narration while they're trying to focus on their game. Ooh, this is a fun one. They're playing a psychic deck. All right, let me put that on the screen and kind of shrink that to the size because they got a giant phone. There we go. There we go. All right. Here we go. And make sure that I can see chat. Gosh darn it. Pushing the right buttons so that I can still see chat with Discord. Hmm. Hold on. Nope. OBS is all right. Give me a second. We got this. I click this button. Yes, there we go. Okay, perfect. I just need to shrink that to the right size and make it bigger again. Hashtag I don't have a mod. Maybe I should fix that. There we go. All right, and I can still see the chat. Lovely. There, I can't tell you how many shenanigans I'm doing, so that I could have 4 different screens at once. All right, let's go ahead and hide their hand because hopefully nobody would stream snipe or anything like that. But still, we want to, just hide their hand. It makes the game bigger too, so that it's easier to see. Lovely. Live streaming is sorcery. Oh my goodness, it is. You have no idea how much sorcery is involved. Arceus! Well, open deck format. I guess it pays to surprise your opponent. Arceus! I did not anticipate that someone would be going Zora Arceus. That is a combo. With Cape on the Zora Aurora there, and Tapu Koko in the back. What is this deck? Meanwhile, Rio is just standing in front, kind of tanking it, and because of the ability, that flash lightning where you get the early energy, Rio will actually lose the fight despite going second. Oh, but they got their own Zora, but it's tough, right? Do you stay in with Rio? Do you tank the hit with Rio, or do you want to save it for the EX Pokemon? I don't know what they're gonna do, but this is a fun matchup. This is not something you'd see outside of open deck, right? Arceus Tapu Koko. What is this? Oh wow. Also, nice layout. Prelux did the first stream yesterday. Yeah. Prelux did an amazing job despite not having an overlay. Like, honestly, I'm not the best person with overlays. I think this is not bad, but I've seen way better. But yeah, I could help Prelux with some overlay. I love the low resolution. I know this is a non-sneaky. Yeah, I'm starting a proposal for spectator mode. I've got a Google Doc. I've started sharing it with some people to get feedback. Shiny and me, you two are super active. Maybe I'll give it to you too. Like, I'm hoping that we can kind of get like just kind of a very friendly, hey, if we can't, no problem, but if we could, it'd be cool, just kind of thing we could give to Pokemon Pocket and say, hey, it'd be really nice if we had a spectator mode so we could, stream matches in higher quality. Because right now I'm limited by the Discord, right? I'm limited by this player's internet connection. I can't possibly make it look better. But, if we had a spectator mode, that would be another story. Yeah, so far, starting with the Zora, and I know I am very much shortening its name, it is giving the... Ooh, what's this? Okay, is giving the Arceus player a bit of a big advantage because they got that early energy and they were able to attack on turn 3. Whereas Rio, has to attack on turn 4 because of the 2 energy thing. So it's one of those situations where you actually want to go first, which is pretty cool. But they switched to their own Zora, added their own cape, but just didn't attack? Couldn't attack? I don't know what happened there. Did they not have the energy? I would have thought they'd have the energy, but I guess it wasn't technically the first turn, maybe. Spectator mode and replay is probably never coming up, but we're allowed to dream. I don't know if we're ever going to get replays. We might not get replays. But spectator mode, that's something that a lot of games have. We could ask. As long as we're, like, polite and respectful about it, I think the community can give that feedback. Like, that's something we'd like to see. We'll give it a try. It can't hurt. And if they say no, it's fine. We'll figure it out. Oh, Shinx! This is that deck. This deck did very well yesterday. There was a player who was going like on a 10 win streak with this deck. The idea is that, you've got a Rio to tank the EX Pokemon, but then you have Luxray, Volkner that you can just bring in and nuke stuff. And so whatever's threatening a Rio, you could take out with Luxray, and then you just win with a Rio. It's a very smart deck, but it does get countered by Silvally. So it's not the kind of thing you want to run all tournament long, which is why it didn't end up winning yesterday, unfortunately. I thought it was really cool, but it struggled against a Silvally, and that's its big weakness. But in a tournament like this with open deck, you can really play stuff like this where, maybe there's one thing that hard counters it, but you can play it a couple times, pick up some wins with it, and then switch decks, right? So that's kind of neat about this tournament that you can play some stuff that wouldn't really work in the regular format. I like that. I like that. Why do you think replays ain't never coming would be super easy like to auto save? Oh, yeah. So I think that replays would be harder just because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe you're right. Maybe replays would actually be easier. It's just there are some storage issues. Like you have to decide if you want to do that by move or if you want to do that by recording, right? And then you have to store the data, and that can lead to a lot of bugs, like with certain things not appearing right. But if you record all the actions and are able to play them back, if the engine is set up that way, yeah, we could get replays. Totally. Oh, here it is. The Vulkner tech. We were talking about this. Oh, massive Vulkner hype. Psyduck is excited. So you suddenly go from no energy to 3 energy, and you can just take something out right away. But there's a bit of a decision here because the opponent has right, they've got Arceus, Tapu Koko, but your Rickario walls all that. So you either go for the Zora or the Ori, right? You want to take out something that can't hit your Oricorio. I wonder which one the player's going to pick. Yeah, the one in front probably. It's a shame you're doing a 120 potential bench hit nuke, but sort of forced to take out the frontline active Pokemon. It's a little bit. It feels bad. It feels a little bad if you're the Luxray and you've got to go for that active Pokemon with your ultimate attack. But still, it's good because now you've eliminated that threat, right? Arceus can't hurt your birds in the back line. So as long as you could keep your Oricarios online, you probably win now, which is pretty good. With 3 Pokemon on the bench, uh-oh, our Arceus is going to be doing 130, so Luxray won't be surviving this. And Mars. Ugh. Oh. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Going for the attack. Luxray is down. That's 2 prize points for the Arceus player, Credo. But now, Oricarios don't have much of a threat, right? The only thing they fear is the opposing Oricario. So as long as they can, sort of win the Oricario fight, they're good. But I don't know. I'm thinking like 3 turns ahead. It's gonna be tricky. It's definitely gonna be a little bit tricky. Because if you look at the Oricario, that thing is gonna come in and start swinging, right? Kratos Oricario, the one in the back, right? The one on the other side, right? The Arceus player's Oricario. That's gonna come in and attack first. It's gonna get the first attack. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was wondering for a second why they brought it in early, but Dawn. Yep, yep. So it's gonna get the first attack, right, on Fallen's Oricario. And now, with 1 prize point left, I don't think there's anything Fallen can do to fix the situation. This is looking like a win for Credo. I think Kratos got this. Let me see. I'm talking about Wargroove, helps win the Groove of War events. Yeah, yeah, Macro Maps is a big organizer in the Wargroove 2 community. Yep, there's the GG. There's the GG. Actually, could someone let me know, is this a best of 3? Yeah, it's a best of 3. Okay. So the first win goes to Credo. They were able to take it with their crazy Arceus Tapu Koko deck. That looked really fun. I've never seen Arceus Tapu Koko Zora Oricario. It's like a 4-card combo that it's really cool when you think about it because they're all basic Pokemon. So you can kind of slot them in. You don't have to worry about rare candy or anything. GG. Yep. That was a good game. It was a good game. Now you can switch decks between rounds, to my understanding. So Fallen might be like, okay, okay, okay. What beats that? Let me try to counter it. Let me bring in a new deck, right? So we could see them come up with any of these decks. Any of these decks they might use now. They kind of got a bit of a decision. Going with the classic. The Eureka, sorry, the Greninja Giratina Sylveon deck, it looks like. Yeah, that deck does really well, but it's really hard to play. It's not a deck you can just pick up and say, haha, it's the best deck. I will play it. No. No, we were talking about this. I was talking about this with Prelux, who's an amazing player. Even Prelux doesn't get that deck. It's very hard to play well. So Fallen, in picking this deck, is basically saying, I think I can play the best deck. I am that good. We'll see if they can pull it off. All right, let me just nudge this slightly to the left. Good. Slightly more. Hey, how are you? I'm sorry I cannot read your name. But how are you doing? Grass. Nope, can't read it. Apologies. I can't tell if that is Hanza or kanji, but how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for hopping on chat. Goons UK, how are you? Oh my goodness. Is this this might be my first time seeing you on Twitch. Hey, how are you? Real rare real Rye gun. How are you doing? Is that Rye like electric? Like a railgun? Cool name. Cool name. Hope everybody's doing good. This is the Magma open deck, so players are allowed to switch their deck between rounds. Even inside of a round, like you're in the middle of a best of 3, you take a loss, you could just play a different deck. It's so cool. And that's what this player's doing, actually. Oh, Ryzen Raichu. Okay. Alright, I get it. The real Raichu. Nice. Actually, we're watching an electric deck right now. Kratos has been running this crazy, like, I can't pronounce that Pokemon. Zeraora with Tapu Koko, Arceus, Don Ruffian, no delay this time. Yes, there's no delay this time. There will be a delay on tomorrow's stream when I'm doing the global gym battles, because this is also a serious tournament, but in global gym battles they insist on a 10-minute delay. But for this, I don't have to do a delay, so I can say hi to everybody in real time. It's very nice. Psyduck? Yes, I like Psyduck. Psyduck says hi sometimes. Alright, they got the early Sylveon, and it seems like they're just going to attack with it. Cape Tapu Koko is interesting, because it can survive 2 hits from Sylveon. I wonder if they put the cape on there just for that situation. That's kind of cool, when you think about it, because, like, Tapu Koko is one of those cards that I haven't seen in a while. It hasn't been meta since it came out. Like, people tried it for a while, and then they moved off it. But now, seeing it with cape, like, perfectly surviving 2 hits from Sylveon. Although, with the Nurse Joy, you'd survive anyway. So I wonder, like, what kind of breakpoints Kratos is playing against. Like, you didn't really... Maybe they were worried about Giovanni, potentially. Or, like, a sudden Greninja, but there's no Froakie on the bench. I don't know. Needed a break from that last casting. Which one? Were you casting recently, or do you mean me? Yeah, I was casting yesterday, I'm casting today, I'll be casting again tomorrow. There's a lot of casting going on this weekend. Oh my goodness. So many fun tournaments. Ooh, double Froakie! Okay, so Greninja could come online soon. But Sylveon's looking a little damaged there. Like, if this were the VGC, it would be going da-da-da-da-da. You know, the blinking sound that would be playing in the background. The health bar is red. They're staying in with Sylveon, though. That's bold. So Sylveon's probably going down here, really relying on some Pokemon to come in and pick up the Tapu Koko once Sylveon goes down. Double energy on the Zeraora in the back. I could definitely say that Pokemon. 100%. And remember, Fallen has already taken 1 loss in this best of 3. So if Kratos wins this, Kratos is moving on. Don Ruffione, are you in my Twitch and YouTube at the same time? That is awesome. This stream is not listed as the organizer stream in Limitless. Oh, I don't know how to do that. Maybe if Shiny is still here, they could help me with that. Yeah, all right. After this game, I'll DM someone and see if we can get that fixed. But yeah, this should be the organizer stream in Limitless. Are you the host caster for this tournament? I am. At the very least for today. I think we're gonna have another streamer for the top cut. But for the first half for today, I am the official caster for this tournament. Hello, how are you doing? Timo Thayer. Hope you're doing good. Ooh, Greninja. All right, they got their Greninja online. That'll be nice. Can they get the snipe on Tapu? No, cause energy problems. Energy problems. Oh no. That means Tapu Koko's gonna get to do super effective damage to Greninja. What language is that? Shuriken. Lol. Shuriken? I'm not sure. You know, that's a good question. I am not 100% sure what language this is. Let me see. Sometimes, like, you get, like, clues. Like, if it's Japanese, it's really clear. If it's Chinese, it's really clear. I can usually tell, like, if it's French, but there's some languages I'm not as familiar with, so I'm not sure. Les atesque. Okay, it's one of the Latin-derived languages, if it's using less. Could be, like... It could be Spanish, potentially. Maybe Portuguese. I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. Yeah, if anybody can recognize the language, let me know. Because Pokeball is still Pokeball, right? But some of the cards... I saw you were also streaming on Twitch, so I switched. Ah, I gotcha. Yeah, feel free to watch whichever one you're more comfortable with. Ooh! I won't talk about that until it officially appears on the screen, because I'm hiding the hand, but that was a nice draw. That was a nice draw. I think it's French. Okay. Super Bonbon. Yeah. Yeah. Super Bonbon. Right. That's one of my favorite multilingual card names, Super Bonbon. That's a pretty good one. That and Schlurp. If you're familiar with like the German Lickitung line, Schlurp. Such a good name. Such a good name. Not Spanish. French? Okay. I need to upgrade my French. Good thing Sequoia is not co-casting with me. They would make fun of me for missing that. Who won game one? Was away for a sec. Credo won game one. Credo, and they're still playing the Arceus deck, although we haven't seen Arceus yet. And Fallen has switched to a Greninja Giratina deck. Oh, also Shiny. Someone mentioned that this stream is not set as the organizer stream in Limitless. Do you have the powers to fix that? Don Raffione, you're from Germany? Ah, that's cool. Clodsire in German is Sue Lord? That's awesome. That's totally awesome. Mexico? Alright, we got a lot of folks from all over the world representing today. That's neat. That's one of the things I love about Pokemon. No, it's set as Org Streamer. Okay. Someone said that it wasn't earlier, but maybe it is now. I'm trying to find that comment. Made sure 20 minutes ago. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you, Shiny. You're awesome. Alright, so Greninja's retreated to the back. It's only at 20 health. And with Sylveon going down, one single KO for Kratos will win it. And winning the best of three, because remember, Kratos already has a win. So this is, you know, Fallen has to take this. They can't let their Greninja go down. Cyrus will lose them the game. They've got to pick this up. But with, you know, they managed to take down the Tapu Koko, so they also just need one more prize point. It's so close. It's so close. Alright, using the Shurikens on the Oricorio in the back. That's threatening. Checkmate next turn. You know, if that Oricorio takes 2 more Shurikens, and there's 1 more this round, so 1 more Shuriken after this, it goes down. It goes down in that game. That's it. Kratos will have to draw a Cyrus to bring this about. either a Cyrus or potentially a Dawn. Like we could see a Dawn pass energy to Arceus and bring that in and knock out Giratina. That's a potential move. And Giratina's just, collecting energy, so Dawn or Cyrus wins the game for Kratos. We'll see if they have it. Because otherwise it's GG. There it is! Helio! Hello! Bringing in the Pokemon from the back line. That's game. That's going to be the second win to Kratos. GG, well played. With a very creative Arceus Electric deck. I did not expect that we would see such a nifty deck. And they never switched! They could have switched, but they never switched. They allowed their opponent to try to counter it. They allowed Fallen to try to bring in the counter. Let me just close out of that for a second. And still, Kratos managed to pull it off. That's amazing. Philippines. Yeah, we got folks from all over the world watching this. That is so cool. Alright, I'm going to go to the next stream to spectate, or we'll see if Fallen's gonna still stream. Ooh, actually, let's watch somebody else. Let's watch Asakura. Yeah, I'm gonna switch channels for a second, because I think round one is still going on. So let's catch the end of another round one game. This one looks pretty exciting. Just going to adjust the screen there, because everybody's phone size is a little different. So I always have to adjust the screen a little bit. Alright, this is a mirror match between two of those Greninja Giratina decks. And just like we were saying last game. Alright, I'll catch you later, Macro Maps. Thanks for stopping by. Awesome streamer, by the way. Macro Maps, big organizer in the Wargroove 2 community. Really awesome person. Very cool. Yeah, we were talking about these decks last game. They're technically the best deck, but so hard to play. So hard to play. They're not intuitive. Even some of the best players struggle with this deck. So if you're picking it up and trying to use it, you really, really, really want to be practiced with it. Otherwise, you're going to be playing a worse deck. Like, this deck does not give you even 50% of its power unless you really know what you're doing. And so it's a big risk to play it, right? And I think a lot of players haven't quite realized that yet, just how scary it is to play this. But it's cool to see the mirror match. We see Greninja poking down that Giratina in the back. You know, just kind of being like, oh, if I take you out, that's 2 prize points. Boom, going in with your own Giratina, knocking out the Greninja. And now, if that backline Giratina comes in and attacks, it's going to take itself out. Oh, that's hype. PLL really needs to speed up or my win-loss going to be so bad here. Yeah, that's GG. That's GG. There was nothing they could do. We see the surrender. Well played. Well played. I think the second round should be starting just about now. We're going to see if we can get some games in from round 2. Gonna just take a peek at... Alright, yeah. So while we're chilling a little bit waiting for round 2, what's your favorite deck for this season? Because, like, I'm actually not at Master Ball yet, believe it or not. Believe it or not. This far into the season, I'm not in Master Ball. Goodness. I know, I'm working on it. Has anyone got some good decks to recommend? I've been playing a little bit of Buzzhole, right? Some Sylveon stuff. Sylveon, I should say. Sylveon, the new Sylveon decks. Only 6 rounds? Yeah, this is only 6 rounds. It's a little bit shorter. But you're allowed to switch decks between matches. Even within a round, you could switch decks. So there's kind of a lot more variety in what you can do. Sweets Relay is my fave, even though it isn't top tier. Sweets Relay is fun. That's a really fun deck. And it could get better as more cards are released, because they can always release more Sweets Relay cards, which is cool. Eevee Party is probably a fast climb. Yeah, I wanted to play that. Eevee Party is fun. For anybody who doesn't know, Eevee Party uses Flareon EX Leafeon EX, Sylveon EX, 4 Eevees, so 2 of them Eevee EX, and a regular Leafeon, and it uses pure fire energy, but you use the Leafeon EX to power the Leafeon so that you can take out a Ricarios. It is a wild deck. It is so much fun. You get tons of draw, tons of power, and even though, like, most of your Pokemon can't attack, which is funny, because Sylveon can't attack at all, right? And Leafeon can only attack if you use Leafeon EX. But even so, it still manages to get a bunch of attacks and do tons of damage. Eevee Party is a fun deck. I want to try that one. I just don't have Flareon EX yet. But once I get it, I'm going to try that one. Definitely. I'm going to check round 2. Has round 2 officially started yet? I don't see if it's started yet. Okay, maybe I can play a game while we're waiting. 11 more minutes? Really? Okay, that one kind of quick. All right, then 3 games still going? Gotcha. Yeah, they're not streaming, that's the thing. All right, then maybe I'll play a quick game. I'll play a quick game. You can watch me get my butt kicked in ranked. No, I mean, in theory, I played ranked, like, right when it came out, so that was when everyone was going, like, hyper serious. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a little easier now. Maybe we'll give it a try. Give it a try. I'll pick up a quick game before the next round starts. Oh, my computer's buzzing. I use Gengar to get to Master Ball. Yo, real Raygun, that's awesome. Use Gengar in this season? Oh, that's pretty good. What deck? I might try that. You can tell. You can tell I'm definitely part of the Gengar, the Gengar agenda. I love Gengar. All right, my desktop app thingy's updating, and then I'll get a quick game in before the next round starts. Yeah, we'll just sneak a little game in. Okay, let me see. Screen share this. Okay. Open. It's not working? Yeah, OBS like always likes to make me delete my window objects and then put them back. I don't know why. Just likes making me click extra buttons, I guess. That OBS life. Okay. There we go. All right. We'll just do a quick little ranked game. Quick little ranked game. Oh, you're gonna drop the deck list in the Magma server. Awesome. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. I kind of want to try Raygun's Gengar deck. Let's see. What can I get rid of? I can get rid of this. This is an experiment that did not work. This is an experiment that did not work. Don't play this. I thought it would be a good idea. It wasn't a good idea. Some regrets were had. All right. Let me take a look at Raygun's deck here. Okay. 2 Ghastly, 1 Gengar EX, 1 regular Gengar, 1 Tapu, and 2 Sylveons. Rare Candy, 1 X Speed, 1 red card. Okay. I can make this. Yeah, I've got these cards. All right, let's build the Gengar deck that Raygun's suggesting and see how it works. One of these, and Ghastly. I can definitely spell Ghastly. One of these, and I think they were using one of these. Okay, then 2 Rare Candy. Right. And X Speed. None of these have X in it. All right, I'll type in the word speed. There we go. Yeah, just playing a quick game while we're waiting for the next round to start, messing around a bit. Let me see. Red card, Nurse Joy, 1 Sabrina, 1 Cape. Huh. Interesting tech. So no Cyrus? No Cyrus. I don't know. I'm not used to that. I like having a Cyrus, but I will follow the deck. I will follow the deck. What, a Pokecenter Lady, I think is the official name of the card. Yeah. And you got like a Tapu in there. And red card. Okay. Tapu, red card. You can use 2 attacking Ghastly, because I just didn't have 2 attacking. Oh, okay. I kind of like the other Ghastly, so we'll try it. Ban him if the deck loses. No way. Raigun. I would never ban someone for recommending an amazing fun deck. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, my yellow. My yellow. It's so bad. It's so bad. We're gonna fix it though. We're gonna fix it. Gengar we'll fix this. Ban him if it wins then? Wow, chat is vicious today. Come on, come on, come on. Be nice, be nice, be nice. Everybody's just joking. Everybody's just joking. All right, we get to go second. That's usually good. Tapu start. I don't know how I feel about Tapu start. I feel like that's one of the weaker starts. Because I can't really do anything, even though I get first energy. Ooh, it's Buzzhole. Okay. Yeah, I see why the deck runs EX speed. Because you kind of want to retreat in this situation, right? Ooh, they're popping off. They're popping off. This is looking kind of scary. Okay. Yeah, hopefully we oak something good here. Because I'm a little bit afraid of this Kartana. Mmm. We bricked. We bricked. Okay. Well. I do 0 damage. We bricked. This is not, Yeah, the heart of the cards is not with me here. Clearly, Sableye has, sabotaged our RNG. Well, part of the problem running a stream with ghost Pokemon, they do this to you sometimes. Ooh, Rocky Helmet Thrash Metal. That's brutal. 'Tis not a casting stream anymore. Well, it will be again in about a second. Let me see. I'm gonna go for Sabstall here. Just a little Sabstall. And then I can use Energy Arrow without taking counterattack damage. But really, that's just if they don't have Celesteela, it weakens their ability to attack me for a little while. Yeah, we're just playing a quick game while we're waiting for the next round to start. Just playing a little Gengar. A smattering of Gengar while we're waiting for the next round to start. Retreat and flip heads. Working on it, working on it. Okay, it's time for my Uno reverse card. Sylveon, ha ha ha, you've fallen for my trap. You've fallen for my trap. Now I get a little Pokeball. Do I play Pokeball? Yeah, we play Pokeball. We play Pokeball. Alright, got another Eevee. Very nice. We do this. And I'm going to X-Speed. Save the energy on Tapu, because I might use that later. And now we pick up the KO on Formosa. Bricking will not stop me. Let's go. All right. Yeah, they did get me in Buzzhole range, though, which is a little scary. I'm down to 120. I don't like that. Hopefully we draw Cape and we can fix that. There's going to be a Mars, watch. I hope not. I hope not, because look at this hand. Look at this hand. This is a very worrying hand. Okay, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? I'm also like doing a little bit of math, like their time, my time. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes, so we have 5 minutes until the next round starts. 5 minutes until the next tournament round starts, I think. So we got time. We just have to win in 5 minutes. No problem. Hiroto. Hiroto. Bring it on, Hiroto. It's my opponent's name, Hiroto. Ooh. But they only have one energy, so this is just punch, right? Yeah, this is just punch. I'm not too worried. It's only 30 damage. You can read Japanese? I can read hiragana and katakana, but my Japanese is a little bit limited. Okay. Alright, let's evolve Sylveon first before I do anything else. I should have done that first, actually, before playing the Ghastly. Just in case I drew something that would make a difference, though I think Ghastly I'd play no matter what. And Oak. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's retreat here. The problem is, then, they don't have a Formosa. Hmm. Maybe I don't want to retreat. Let me think about this. I attack in, you're down to 100. Can I do 100 damage? Nah, because Spooky Shot won't be ready in time. Not necessarily ready in time. Not necessarily. I could sack Tapu Lele, but then I'd lose. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're retreating. We're retreating. I gotta stall. No choice. I'm not gonna red card here. We're just gonna put some energy and end turn. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all I can do. I'm just stalling. Trying to get Gengar up. Rounds will start as soon as all games are done, just so you know. Oh, gotcha, Connor. Thanks for letting me know. All right, let me check Discord real quick. See if the next round starts. Let's check. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it seems like some folks are playing. All right. If the next round has begun, then we need to get out of here. We'll see if we can win. We'll see if we can win real quick. Otherwise, I'll just surrender. How's your stream quality? You tell me. Hmm. Okay. Yoink. Yeah, because they can't Formosa me now. Cyrus wins them the game no matter what I do. Alright. I don't think I win this. I'm just like running some numbers real quick. I don't think I win this. So I'm just going to surrender and we're going to go back into spectating. But this is a really cool deck. I think it could have won. I think it had the potential. It has potential. We'll try it again some more later. But casting the tournament is more important than my ELO. This is why I'm not in Master Ball yet, because I do things like this. All right, let's pull up the next round. We got Stargazer. Ooh, Nemo. I kind of want to check out Nemo. Raigun. Wait a minute. Hold on. All right, I kind of want to spectate Raigun, but I want to make sure that they're not also, streaming. Give me a sec. Let me just make sure they're not online right now. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we won't do Raigun because I don't want to cover someone who's in the chat because that would get into issues. That would cause some issues. So we'll spectate Nemo, I think. We'll check them out. Okay. Oh, does Connor, do you have the ability to deafen Nemo? Let me try. Okay, I've deafened them, but it might be a server deafen. I will have to undo that later. Perhaps someone with admin privileges I don't know why I can only server deafen people. That's something we should probably fix. Something we should definitely fix. Because I don't want to deafen people for the whole server. Only for the match. Only for the match. Okay. And then button, 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 button. Minimize, move. This goes here. Ah, so many buttons to press! We are pressing all the buttons. Alright. I need to update OBS or something. It's forcing me to recreate the window capture object, like, every time I do this. I don't know why. But it's okay. With the little button pressing, we can solve all of the problems. Excellent. Excellent. There are no problems with this stream. Everything is good. Server deafen is fine. Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't like permanently deafening them or something like that. Like, ooh, Lillipup! Oh, they're fighting a Lillipup deck. Hype. Yes. Double Lillipup. That's so cute. I love Lillipup and Eevee together because like they're kind of like the same color scheme. And it looks like just a bunch of little adorable kind of creatures. And I just want to scoop them up and hug them. They're so cute. Wow, Sylveon Chain into Sylveon. That's a ton of draw. That's a ton of draw. I might be slightly, admittedly, rooting for the Lillipup. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Maybe. Alright, we got rare candy. We got rare candy. Oh, they've got the Stoutland. Wow, that's the power of Sylveon right there. Lots of draw. Early rare candy. Early Sylveon. Early Stoutland. They're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good. Meanwhile, you got the classic Giratina Frog deck, the one everybody's been playing. Just gonna tweak the screen so we can see the energies there. There we go. Little tweak. Just tiny tweak. The Sylveon deck is popping off. And Fairy Wind being able to one-shot 60 health basics is a really nice feature. And with that Eevee gone, it's going to be really difficult for the... I need a name for that deck, because calling it Giratina, Greninja, Sylveon is just too wordy. Let's just call it Draw Frogs. I don't know, Draw Frogs? I don't like that. Chat, do you have a better name for this deck? Can we call it something? Like a good name? Like, there's got to be a good name for this. Can someone come up with a good name for this? Giratina, Greninja, Zoo? I guess it's kind of Zoo. I don't know. Maybe more Swamp? I guess it doesn't really fit Sylveon. Zoo's not bad. Zoo's not bad. We could call it Zoo. We call it Zoo. Okay, Zoo is currently in the running for top name. Does anyone else have any other suggestions? Yeah, there's a little bit of a choice with the Sylveon. Do you attack, or do you risk your EX Pokemon going down? And especially considering that they have the Greninjas, right? So they could, like, at any time, just suddenly take out your Greninja. Double Energy Ninja deck? Ah, too wordy. I want something short. Like, something, like, real quick, snappy. Like, I could just say, yeah, it's the blank deck, you know? Like, Zoo is short. I like Zoo. Maybe we'll call it Zoo. It's the Zoo deck. I don't know. Because it doesn't have that many animals. It only really has, like, Giratina is like a centipede, right? I don't know. Third Double Energy Ninja deck. Maybe. Maybe. Ooh, Gren is online. Trust me with that one? Alright, I trust. Water Shuriken. Yeah, now this is a little bit awkward, because, like, Water Shuriken doesn't have a very good target. Not unless they have Cyrus. Yeah, going after the Herdier, because that could evolve at any time. I don't know. I kind of would have pegged maybe something else. But I can see why they're going for it. I can see why they're going for it, because it's something you could take out potentially with Greninja. So like if you Cyrus that, you could do 60 damage to it later. Yeah, that's a pretty good move, actually. I see why they're targeting the Herdier with a Water Shuriken. That's smart. Sylveon is a ninja. Oh, okay. Oh, we could call it the Pink Ninja deck. Maybe. Because Sylveon is pink, Giratina is sort of pink, and it has Greninja. Pink Ninja? Maybe? Possibly? We call it the Pink Ninja deck? I don't know. Alright, they're Cyrusing back in the Giratina and gonna take it out with Stoutland for the win. That is style. Never have I seen Cyrus Stoutland before. That was clutch. I tip my hat to you, Nitrous Oxide. Well played. I'm uncertain if that is a chemical I would like to be around me in daily life. It is very dangerous. But I guess no more dangerous than a giant ghost centipede. Oh! Oh! Sweets deck! They're switching to the Sweets deck. I'm gonna kill my voice. Streaming 3 days in a row. Not my best idea. But they're playing the Sweets deck. Yes! This is gonna be fun. Because remember, they're allowed to change decks at any time. That's the whole feature of the open tournament, right? Ooh. I wonder if their opponent also changed decks, because they were using the Stoutland Sylveon deck before. Okay, they're sticking with it. They're sticking with it. Usually when the player wins, it seems like they stick with the same deck, but the player who loses has been swapping out the deck. Sweets versus Stoutland Sylveon. This is really good. Like, these aren't, like, hyper meta decks. These aren't, like, the best decks. But they're new decks using the new cards. And, like, there's money on the line here. These players actually decided, these are the best these are the decks I want to use to try to win that prize money. I love this. Competitive play with weird new decks. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. You got kind of a full Sweets line there. You got the Milsroy, you got the Slurpuff. Versus a singular Eevee that's just trying to hold on. It uses Collect, it's got the Oak. But despite all of that draw... Oh no! And they get red carded! 7 cards! They were bricked on 7 cards and then got red carded. Oh! Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Bunch of evolutions coming out from our Sweets player. 7 card, red card. Hey Yuki, how are you? I know, that was brutal to watch. That was a massacre. 7 card brick into red card. Ugh. Oh, that hurt. But luckily, the red card did seem to fix their brick, at the very least. They got Pokeball now, they've got more Pokemon online. They've got their Lillipup, double Lillipup, so the red card kind of helped them. Weirdly enough, the red card was beneficial. I guess if your opponent is bricked with 7 cards in their hand, do you play red card? I don't know. Look, it helped them. This is the craziest red card ever. Doing great, just watching Infinite Aura come out. Not that again. I take it from that you were watching the Prelux stream with me and Prelux yesterday. Alright, the Sylveon with Cape came out, just knocking out one of the Sweets Pokemon. So it looks like the Lillipup deck actually really did benefit from the red card. They recover their position from it, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But Sweets Relay has started. You've got the Alcremie in the back, so you know those sweets are piling up. The Doom Cake is going to be doing 40 damage for every time Sweets Relay is used. That's gonna be enough to take out Sylveon, I think, in maybe one more attack, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think after this is 120 damage on Alcremie's attack. Sweets Overload. So right now, that can KO anything on the map. I think maybe only if they can evolve to Stoutland can they find something that is immune to Sweets Overload. Not immune, but that can tank the overload of Sweets, right? But they're going to have two prize points, right? The Lillipup deck is going to have two prize points. They're switching into Lillipup to pick up the kill. That is the cutest attack ever. Just like a little peck for 20 damage. I'm already back. Some Japanese guy quickly 2-0'd me. Oof! Shiny, I'm sorry to hear that. Ooh. 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 They're thinking about it. They're going for it. There's the Cyrus. That's my favorite art on Cyrus because it's got like the hand. It like just grabs you right off the bench. Yeah, and that Sweets Relay gonna be doing 90 damage, taking out the Sylveon. Not even going into the Alcrema yet, just saving that in the back. And Sweets Overload is at 160 damage right now with one energy. So it's guaranteed win next turn. Lillipup has to win the game right now. That's Sabrina. If they can take out Alcreme, if they can evolve into Stoutland and take out Alcreme, but they've got to have Stoutland. Wasn't enough. If they had drawn the Stoutland, Lillipup would have won that, but they just couldn't get it. Sweets Overload is going to come into 160 damage, knocking out the doggo and giving Nemo the win. Well played. Well played. That was a crazy game. I've never seen someone get red carded out of 7 cards and get a better position because of it before in my life. That was wild. I think they're 1-1 right now. Yeah, I think Nemo and their opponent are 1-1. So next game wins this round. Next game wins this best of 3. This will be interesting. I wonder if they're going to stick with the Sweets Relay. Oh, they're staying with it. Okay, good, good. We get to see another Sweets Relay game. Their opponent is probably going to switch. I'm not sure, because they only really lost because they bricked. If they didn't brick, they might have won. So they might stay with the Lillipup deck. It's a really cool deck. I like the Lillipup deck. It's so good. Here we go. Okay. Fire. Ah, they switched off the Lillipup deck. What are they playing this time? Heatmore. Heatmore. I haven't seen that one before. A Heatmore deck. That's a thinker. I'm not sure. Has anyone seen a Heatmore deck before? I have no idea what that is. Well, the Sweets deck is popping off. I mean, it basically got all of the Sweets cards. Like, that's a beautiful opening right there. You got the Milsroy, you got the Slurpuff. The only thing is you don't necessarily want to start with Milsroy. You kind of want to start with the Puff, but still pretty good. And if you're going first, it's okay to start with Milsroy, because if you got to sack something, maybe sack that and then go into Puff Puff. Heatmore Incineroar, someone placed high with that once. Oh, it's an Incineroar deck. Okay. I guess Heatmore is kind of to take out the Eureka maybe? But it doesn't do that much damage. I wonder how that works. Interesting. Budget Incineroar. Got it. Got it. Alright. We're going to have the first Sweets Relay coming up. Start stacking those Sweets. Doesn't do much damage at all, but that's okay. That's 1 Sweets. We're going to keep track of the number of Sweets, because every time that happens, that's 40 extra damage onto Sweets Overload. So we're at 1 so far. 1 Sweets. 1 piece of candy on the table. This is... this is like 2 very weak Pokemon just kind of... Just kind of... trying very hard to attack each other. It's very adorable. I think that heal won them the game. Maybe, yeah. It's one of the reasons that Sweets Relay usually runs water for the Irida, because you can heal your front Pokemon and your bench Pokemon. It doesn't work as well against things that nuke you, like Charizard or Solgaleo, for example, but it works really well against stuff like this that just does like residual damage. And there's Heatmore is just like tickling down this Milsroy, and Milsroy's doing the same. But the problem is, every time Milsroy attacks, that's one more sweets on the plate. So far, we're on two sweets. Two sweets on the plate. That's 80 damage if Sweets Overload was to be used. Oh, and goes for the bigger Sweets Relay, doing 90 damage and adding another Sweets onto the plate. Now we're at 120 damage if the Overload comes out. And with that Litten gone, it's going to be really hard to get Incineroar online. I think the Sweets deck has it. Yeah, GG! Nemo takes the game using a Sweets Relay deck. That's wild. Well played to Nemo. Alright, I believe that was kind of quick. I think the round is still going on. We're going to try to see if there are any other games. Let me take a look. Oh, there are a lot of games. Who do I want to watch? Let's see. Stargazer. Let's check out Stargazer. We're loading. Alright, give me a sec, because they've got some kind of voice call going on? Wait a minute. Okay, it's Discord. It's Discord. Digi forward? I'm not... Yeah, I just want to make sure it's... Yeah, that's not a game, so I'm gonna look at somebody else's screen. Oh, nope, game's back. Okay. Alright, turning on the game. Yeah, I don't want to show somebody's phone if they've got something that's not. Oh wow, this phone is a very weird shape. I'm gonna have to stretch this out a little bit. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Wait, what? They're not showing the whole screen? What? What? Wait. Huh? Okay, we're gonna spectate somebody else. Technical, I don't know how they even managed to do that. I don't see anybody else streaming. You know, I think the round is wrapping up. I think the round is wrapping up. We're probably going into round 3 soon. Yeah, I think there's just one game finishing up, and then we'll get into round 3. Alright, that's pretty cool. I like the Sweets Relay deck. It seems pretty good. A lot of people are playing it, actually. I'm surprised. I thought it would be all like Charizard Sylveons and Greninja, Pink Ninja decks. Pink Ninja, right. That was the name we settled on, Pink Ninja. But surprisingly, there's been a lot of interesting decks. Alright, I don't want my ELO to suffer anymore, so maybe I won't play like a game of Ranked in case I have to hop out of it quickly to start casting the next round. So instead, I'm going to pull up the statistics for this tournament so far. Let's take a look at the metagame. I kind of want to see how that's going. Let me do this in a way that does not obliterate my chat, because I do not wish to obliterate my chat. Hold on. Okay, Limitless. Yeah. Let's take a look at the metagame. This is the ongoing Magma. Here we go. Detail, schedule pairings. What? There's no metagame button. Oh, I guess we can't look at the metagame. Right, because it's open deck. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, we have no idea what people are playing because they're not registering their decks. Oh, alright. It's interesting. Yeah, Connor in chat. Yep. What? 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 Oh. I was very confused for a sec. I heard Minecraft out of nowhere, but I was still on. I was still on one of the Discord calls, and someone had started streaming Minecraft on their phone. That was confusing. All right, yeah, well, we're waiting for the next round to start. We're just waiting for the next round to start. Round 3 should be starting soon. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here so I can get watched. All right. All right, we'll spectate you, Rygon. We'll spectate you next. Just make sure you're not in the Twitch chat or the YouTube. No stream sniping. People get banned for that. No stream sniping. 11 minutes. Is there still somebody playing? Because there's nobody streaming. I mean, I could pull up, you know, I could pull up Pocket again, but my poor yellow, I don't care about my yellow. Okay, well, we'll play another game then while we're waiting for the next round, because it seems like there are a couple players who are in a longer game and have decided not to stream. Sadness. They're denying the world the chance to see their fun games. Oh, who would do such a thing? Oh, 5 matches going on? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna take a bit. All right, so let me put my Pokemon stuffs on the streams, and we'll do another Ooh. I have. Yeah, let me fix this. Yeah. 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 Well, we'll do another ranked game. We'll try the Gengar deck one more time. My yellow can take it. I'll recover later. It's fine. It's fine. What's important is that we play a fun deck. And Gengar is a very fun deck. I am so gonna end up dropping down to UB3 because of this. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. Alright, we're gonna try Raigun's Gengar deck one more time. Again with the Tapu Lele start. There's only one in the deck, but I keep starting with this. The curse. The curse. And we're up against... How do you say that? Pinko? Pinko? I don't know. Yeah, my katakana's not as good. I think that's an N. I'm not sure. And we're bricked again. Oh my goodness, this deck loves to brick. I've tried it twice so far. We've bricked every time. Yeah, I guess I red card. They oaked. They have one more card than me. I don't know. The brick. The brutal brick, I tell ya. I don't know about this Gengar deck. It seems to not like me. It seems to not like me. And they get another oak. Why don't I get oaks? I would like some oaks. Sableye, are you messing with my RNG again? Yeah, the little gremlin in the computer that stops me from getting good draws. Alright, we get Pokeball. Hopefully get something good. I guess that kind of counts. Let's see. It's a fire deck, so I don't really have to worry about being attacked next turn. I could use Tapu Lele here, or I could go for Eevee. Let's go for Eevee, because, you know, Eevee always has that potential to do infinite damage. I believe in the potential of Eevee. Okay, not bad. Not bad. We get that 20 damage, that's okay. You're using the wrong sleeve, mat, and coin. Look, I'm free to play, okay? I wish I could be using the Mimikyu mat, but I don't have it. That was the one time I was very tempted to spend money on the game. Oh, Turtonator. No, 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 no. I don't want to be fighting a Turtonator. No, 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 no. Okay, we'll use Happiness Ribbon. Good. Oh, we got Ghastly. That's nice. All right. The deck's coming together. The deck is coming together. Go for this and this. That looks good. And we do that. And I think I'm going to Sabrina here because I'll either get to pick something off or trap a Turtonator. So either way, good for me. I think. Yeah. Yeah. We could trap this Turtonator. I like that. Very nice. There's no escape for that Turtonator. Ha 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 ha. Excellent. Yeah, we're just playing a quick game while we're waiting for round 3 to start. We're using a Gengar deck that one of the viewers recommended, that Rai recommended. Use Ultra Necrozma? I could. I could use Ultra Necrozma. Right, we get the a next Silvally. Yeah, they made a big mistake, I think, giving me the Turtonator, because that allows massive shenanigans. Ooh, nice. Just gonna go for that. And I'm going to X speed into Tapu. Yeah, they made a big mistake giving me that Turtonator, because now I can just do this. Excellent. Excellent. With 4 retreat costs, they're not running away. They're not running away, so I could just snipe that back line to my heart's content. And they're just trapped. They're just trapped. I bricked too, and now suddenly I have like the best setup ever. I have to say, Real Raygun, this is a fun deck. This is a real fun deck. I like this deck. They gave up already! Wow! Let's go! This is a great deck. It's what I used in the first Magma tournament, and 7 games going in second in a row. Nice! I like this deck. This is fun. Alright, let me check if round 3 is started. Raygun is streaming. Make sure to get off my stream if we're gonna spectate you, Raygun. I won't have any stream sniping. It doesn't look like the round is started yet. Has it? Wait. It has started. Okay. Alright, round 3 has just started, actually. So I am going to close out of this. Boop. And we are going to watch somebody, hopefully Raygun. Close that. Alright. Do. Alright, Raygun, hop off the stream if you want us to spectate you. You gotta hop off. Although, I guess you wouldn't really be able to derive any information from this, thinking about it, because you're deafened. You can't hear me. No, but you could hear me from the stream. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. You'd be able to hear me from the stream. Yeah. So, hop off, and we'll spectate you next. We'll spectate you next. And like Connor, maybe you're Shiny if you're around, because I'm actually not 100% sure how to do this. But if you could just make sure that the real Raygun has left the chat, so that there's nothing untowards going on. Nothing untowards. We want to make sure that, we're not accidentally causing something that we shouldn't. Alright, looks like the game is starting. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Boop. But first I'm going to recreate the window object because OBS hates me. And then we will put it on the screen. Nyet. There we go. Ooh, Ultra Beasts! Got an Ultra Beast set up from Rai. It looks like it's going to be probably Guzz Poison up against an Eevee setup from their honorable opponent. Let me just click some buttons real quick. Stream might disappear for 5 seconds. As I click buttons, just hold on. Hold on. Essential button clicking. Essential button clicking in progress. Please stand by. There is some essential button clicking in progress. I need a mod. Yeah, we tried to get something where like the Magma staff would stream the games and then I would stream their stream, but we weren't able to get it set up in time. So there is a little just a little bit of extra logistics on my part. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. So this is exciting. Oh. Whoa. The whole screen started shaking when Evie used collect. He was drawing the card outside of the universe. I don't know what was going on there. Alright, Raygun is looking like they got an Oak. They've got their Celesteela and a Hiligo Guzzlord setup. Very nice. Very nice. We're not going to comment on the cards we saw there, because, we're not going to comment until they're played. But it looks like they got a pretty good setup. And they're going up against a Charizard Sylveon deck. Okay, this is like a repeat of the finals from yesterday. I don't know if anybody was watching that. Yuki was watching that. Yeah. The finals yesterday was so good. It was these two incredible players, Brandon versus Soromaru, and it was a Charizard deck versus a Guzzlord deck, I believe, just like this. Such a good game. Such a good game. We got to see this crazy Goose kill where Guzma was used to take out a Charizard. It was awesome. It was awesome. There were some crazy plays. I wonder if we'll see a repeat of that. I wonder if we're going to get to see a repeat of that. Because these two decks can go very hard against each other. Alright, putting the Poison Barb on the Nihilego. This is something players do in case, for example, the poison gets removed by like a Nurse Joy or switching Pokemon. That way, even if the poison's removed, it still gets reapplied for the next tick if you attack the Nihilego. So that's why you'll see a lot of players do this, even if they have just poisoned the Pokemon. They'll still put Poison Barb on the active Pokemon for that reason. It's kind of like insurance. To make sure you stay poisoned. It's poison insurance. Alright, more collect from Eevee, kind of retreating that Sylveon to keep it nice and safe. Whoa. Getting a little bit of stutter from Rai's phone there. I guess the Ultra Beasts are breaking reality as they kind of tear into it. We see Cyrus bringing back the Sylveon. It's a little bit of an interesting move, because Sylveon could theoretically just retreat again. Bit of a bold Cyrus. It's not going to go down here. Sylveon definitely is going to go down if it doesn't retreat, but it does have the ability to retreat a second time. Kind of burning that Cyrus a little bit. Yeah. Switching into the Charmander. Are we going to see an evolution? Yes, we are. Full-on Charizard here. Charizard descends. We get the stuttering, shiny Charizard from the void. Apparently, it's going to use Stoke, and now it's fully powered and ready to go. I'm not sure if that Cyrus was necessarily the best move, because like I said, Sylveon's still alive. Normally, if you want to use Cyrus, you either want to stall for a turn, or you want to pick up a prize point. If you're not doing either one, it's a little bit of an expensive Cyrus, you know? Because you only have up to 2 in a deck. Ooh, Team Rocket Grunt didn't work out. That's bad luck for Rai. Still going down with the new Nihilego. New wave that's going to do tons of damage. 30 plus another 20 on the tick. But Zard is going to be able to attack next turn if it wants to. We've got double Professor Oak and double Pokeball already played for Rai. So they've had some good draws. Whatever the player is using to cast with is struggling. Yeah, I don't know what Rai is using to stream to Discord, but it's having some problems. This is why we need spectator mode. This is why. Alright, Zard takes out the Nihilego, picking up the first prize point for the Zard player. It's a little bit of a question here. What do you go in with? The Guzzlord, or do you want to stall with Celesteela? Guzzlord is going to be going in. And Zard takes 10 damage from poison. Only 10, though, because there's no more Nihilegos on the field. It's looking a little bit rough for Rai here. They're going to put down a second Guzzlord, but in absence of a Lusamine or something similar, and it doesn't look like they have the Lusamine. Or they're choosing not to play it right now. Maybe they're trying to stall. No, they do have it! They do have it. Is that 2 energy? Yes, it is. Okay, okay, they're good. They're good. So Guzzlord is fully powered. We're going to see Tyrannical Hole do 120 damage to the Zard. That's putting it in KO range threat for next turn. But Zard can just attack into the Guzzlord here. It is a little... Yeah, the stutter is a little bit concerning. The Ultra Beasts are just doing too much damage to the Wi-Fi right now. Clearly a reason to play EV decks. EVs don't damage Wi-Fis. But, you know, Ultra Beasts, they bite your cables. You know, they wrap themselves in the cables. You need to feed them all the time. I don't know. Ultra Beasts are a handful. Meanwhile, Charizard, you just have to worry about your fire alarm going off every day. Can you imagine having a Charmander in an apartment? Can you imagine what that would be like? Oh my goodness. First of all, like, would they even let you keep that in an apartment? I don't think so. I don't think anyone would let you keep a Charmander in an apartment. And then it would always be setting off the smoke detector. You know, I feel like Charmander is more of an outdoor camping Pokemon. Yeah, you don't need Flint. You don't need to like rub 2 sticks together. You could just use Charmander and start a campfire. But to bring it in your house, that's hard. That's hard. The fire code is gonna have some problems with that. I don't know what I'm talking about, but we're just waiting for the Charizard player to decide whether or not they want to attack here. And the stream died. Okay, I think Rai was having some technical difficulties. Well, we're gonna spectate somebody else. We're gonna spectate somebody else. I don't know what happened there. The stream just failed. I think Rai's internet was flagging. Yeah, I think Rai. Ooh, Zegger's streaming. All right, we're gonna watch Zegger. All right, yeah, we're switching streams to Zegger. I think Rai's internet was having some problems. Fake Raigun? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, mad credit to Raigun. They made an incredible Gengar deck, but their internet was having some problems. So, we're going to switch. Alright, it's a classic Mushroom Solgaleo deck. You know, there's a symbiotic or potentially parasitic relationship between the mushrooms and the Steel Lions. I don't know how that works exactly, but it does. It looks like the Solgaleo player got their lion up and running, and this is one of the things about trying to use a Frog Ninja against a Steel Lion. The Steel Lion will win. The only way to win that as the Frog Ninja is you need to hide. You need to hide in the swamp. You need to hide on the bench. Alright, that looks like it's going to be our second win for Zegger. Zegger is a very good player. Zegger is a very good player. I'm not surprised. Let's see who else we can watch. We'll take a peek at our kind of menu of options. Ooh, a Frog EX Arca is streaming. Let's check them out. I'm gonna send 1 billion messages to my internet provider. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Rai. It was a little tricky. It was a little tricky. Yes, send some messages to that internet provider. I don't know what was happening there. Alright, we're watching Frog X Arca, and they're going up against another Guzzlord deck, a very popular deck. We see a Ricario, we see Tapu Koko. I wonder if this is the Arceus version. This deck doesn't need to run Arceus, but I really liked the Arceus when they were running it before. I was going to play Dugtrio Tinkaton. That would have been cool. That would have been cool, legit. I would like to see that. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Ricario comes in, that's smart. You know, you want to tank that Guzzlord. And then using Electric Cable in case it gets taken out. Planning for the future. Even though you have a theoretically invincible Pokemon, still using an item that will only work if it gets knocked out. That's how you can tell this person is playing 5D chess. That's a Frog X member right there. A good little bit of chip damage to the Guzzlord. Nothing too fancy, just a nice little 50 damage. Gonna get it nice and weak. Maybe we can Cyrus it in later, take it out with Tapu Koko. It'll be interesting to see if the Guzzlord stays in, but there's really not that much it can do. Adding more energy to it, though, I'm surprised. I thought that energy would go like on a backline Pokemon. Potentially. Maybe on the Nihilego or something, but... What? Wait. Despite adding energy to the Guzzlord, the player has retreated into Nihilego. Interesting. Interesting. There's some shenanigans going on in this match. Oh, and it is the Arceus version of the deck. Frog X cooks up the craziest decks. Arceus, Tapu Koko, Oricorio. This is wild. This is another one I want to try, actually, when I'm done playing with the Gengar deck that Rai showed me, which is a lot of fun. Actually, I love that Gengar deck. But yeah, Arceus, Tapu Koko is just so cool to see. It's a really interesting position, too. Like, do you attack the Nihilego? Do you do nothing and stall for a turn? But then you could end up with the Naganadel coming in next turn, potentially. You know, the Naganadel is a big threat with a Oricorio. It'll do 40 damage plus 20 poison tick, and Oricorio is almost done. Just from that. Very scary. Yeah, they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. This is a tough choice. I don't know if you attack here, if you retreat here. Now, this is a Frog EX member. You know, they're one of the best teams in the game of Pokemon Pocket. I'm sure that they're going to come up with a 300 IQ answer to this problem. 8 seconds. They pass. They didn't attack. They didn't retreat. They just put energy on Arceus and pass. Perfectly happy to stall. And it's really wild to think about it, because if Oricorio gets knocked out, Arceus will get fully powered. Arceus will get all the energy it needs. But, is that true if Oricorio goes down to poison damage? I actually don't know. Does anyone know in chat? Does the cable still work if you go down to poison damage? I'm not sure. I'm legit not sure about that. Alright, we're seeing Oricorio is forced into a retreat here. Gonna go into the Zeraora. I'm definitely still not saying that name right. Just put energy on Arceus. Just prep for next turn. Just prep for next turn. Very careful, patient moves. Willing to sack the Zera here. Oh no! It's a Goose kill! No, it's not a Goose kill. The cape is gone, but no Pokemon is defeated by it. Okay, it's just a Guzma. Just getting rid of that cape. Probably just playing it to get rid of the card in their hand. Probably like afraid of a red card or something along those lines. Because the Guzma didn't really do much. But generally, you'll still make a move like that if you want to get rid of a card in your hand. What I'm thinking is, the Guzzlord player probably has Sabrina. They probably have Sabrina or Cyrus, some kind of game-winning card, and they don't want their opponent to like red card them or Mars them. So they're trying to play down in the hopes of holding on to that potentially game-winning card. It doesn't work if it goes down to poison. Okay, yeah, so Oricorio would not have been able to pass on the electric energy if it fell to poison. That's why it had to retreat there. Arceus comes in, knocks out Naganadel. That's going to be another prize point for Frog X Arca. Both players have 2 prize points. This is kind of it. Next prize point wins. We see Nihilego come in, but Nihilego is not staying in. That would be game losing. Nihilego is not staying in. No way. Oh, it is! It is! Yeah, there's the Cyrus. There's the Cyrus. It's going to finish off the Oricorio, take the game. That's why I was saying before, when they played that Guzma, and it did nothing, I was like, they've got Cyrus or Sabrina in their hand. 100%. Whenever you see that, this is a good lesson. Whenever you see a really good player play a useless supporter card, they're trying to play down their hand. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get less cards in their hand to defend against like red card and stuff. Well played. Well played. That was good. That was good. I'm sorry to see the Frog X member lose. They're great players. And this is a really cool deck. I like the Arceus deck. But that was very well played by the Guzzlord player. Gotta give him credit for that. Okay, was that their first game, their second game, or their third game. We're not completely sure. Great casting. Thank you, Shiny. That's nice of you to say. Yeah, I definitely can improve. You know, positive and negative feedback both welcome. But the positive feedback makes my day. So thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Me and Psyduck, we're trying to become, one of them big Pokemon streamers one day. That's the dream, you know. Sableye too. Even though whenever Sableye shows up, my hand bricks. But Sableye too. Oh, this is interesting. Neither player switched their deck. The whole point of the open format is you can change your deck whenever you want, but both players are sticking with the exact same deck. Now, they might have made some small changes to the cards. For example, they might have swapped out, given themselves an extra Cyrus, an extra Sabrina, one less potion. Who knows? But they're sticking with the same general deck. That's cool to see. So they're both very confident that they can win this. I like that. I like that. That means that this isn't random. This isn't like a random matchup. Both players believe they are playing the best deck for their opponent's deck. So this is really a test of skill. This is a test of ultimate ability. All right, they kind of got a really good setup there. Double Poison Barb, Nihilego in the back. You've got the Precursor to Naganadel. You've got the Celesteela tanking. It looks really nice for the Guzzlord player. But meanwhile, the Electric player, they got their turn 1 Zora. They got their early energy. They're going to get an Oak. I think both players are building up their tech. They're looking pretty good. Tried to bait with a Scissors while sticking a rock and not moving to paper. Wait, what? I also want to make... Oh, hold on. I didn't read the previous comment. I also want to make great pocket YouTube videos in the style of Wolfie with nice scripts written and everything. Started my channel 2 weeks ago. Wolfie's stuff is hard. Good luck to... definitely good luck, power to you. The thing about Wolfie, though, Wolfie has an editor. And can afford to make, like, these hour-long videos. Multiple hours, in some cases. Because it's Wolfie, because people will watch. If you want to make like really nice scripted videos like Wolfie, my best advice would be start shorter. Like start with like shorter videos, but still very nice and scripted. And then move on to like longer videos once you get a little bigger. That's one of them, but like I don't know. What do I know? Like I don't know if I'm a big enough YouTuber to give advice. Yeah, the editing is really good. That's the thing. Like Connor is saying, Wolfie has a really good editor. That's the thing. I don't have an editor because like I don't when you're big enough, you can make money on it. I'm not big enough to make any money off this. I lose money on this actually. So yeah, but when you're big enough and you can hire an editor, the quality just goes up, right? I do all my own editing, so it's not quite Wolfie level, you know? But yeah, that's another reason. Like when you're just starting out, start with shorter videos. Like start with shorter videos, try to build an audience, like get people to know you, to like you and stuff like that. Editor only costs $800 a video. It's not that expensive, it's not that crazy, but like, you can get an editor for a lot less than that, but still, it's too much for me right now. Maybe I'll find one. Maybe I can get an editor eventually for some of my videos, right? But yeah, it's hard. It's hard, definitely. The first video I did with a nice script is only 4 minutes, but the writing the script took multiple days. It's definitely something you want to practice with. Like, I can write a script in like 30 minutes, but I have like years of practice doing that. But editing, oh my goodness, editing takes me forever. I'm still editing a video that I filmed like 2 months ago. 2 months ago. It's an interview with one of the directors for Pokemon, though. I'm scared to touch it. It's such a good one. That's coming out in a few weeks, I hope, if I can finish editing it. That's a good one, though. But I'm afraid to touch it. I feel like my editing skills are not good enough to honor it. It'd be cool if you could give some feedback. Yeah, sure. Shoot me a video, Shiny. I'll take a look. But again, like I'm not like the sage on the mountain here. You know, I'm a pretty small YouTuber myself. I don't know if I'm the best person to give you advice, but I'd be happy to do whatever I could, you know? All right, let's talk about the game, though. Let's talk about the game. So, Frog Arca picks up their first prize point. Tapu Koko has taken out the Naganadel. Very nice. It's looking pretty good. Guzzlord coming in on the back. You've got the Nihilego with the double energy. But Tapu Koko is pretty... the thing about Tapu Koko, it's not a strong Pokemon, but it has good numbers. It has just enough health to be a little scary. It gets energy just fast enough to be a little scary. So even though it doesn't have crazy health or crazy damage, it'll still duel most things one-on-one really, really well and really fast. And that's why it's a good card. Not because it's got great stats, but because its stats are in the perfect kind of like little niche on the graph of stats where it can surprise you and attack you very quickly before you can react. It's sort of like a good blitz card. I think that's kind of very in theme with the electric type in Pokemon, because most of the electric type Pokemon, they're a little bit weaker stat-wise, but they can blitz you if you're not careful. That's what makes them really good. Yeah, Tapu Koko can definitely take out Naganadel here. Nihilego. But if it does, it's really making itself vulnerable. Right? Like, can it survive another turn if it does that? Because it's going to be 10 tick on the poison. Another 10 tick on the poison, at least. Maybe 20. Grindcore, potentially. But you might have to go for it. Yeah, DM me, Shiny. DM me the link. I'll take a look. I'll take a look later. Unless you want me to show it on stream in between matches, I could do that, but then you would get less views. So, I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you. All right, Tapu Koko goes in. It's gonna take out the Nihilego here, doing some really solid damage. But this is the question: can it survive? Can it survive? Arca is betting on its ability to survive. But if we see like a Lusamine, right? It's done. It's done. It's not living a Lusamine. Celesteela on the bench. There's the Lusamine. Oh no. Oh no. Tyrannical Hole is gonna... Oh, Pokeball first. Pokeball first. I got a bit ahead of myself. Tyrannical Hole, there we go. Goes down, taking out the Tapu Koko. But Renan only gets 2 prize points. They haven't had any prize points before. It's their first prize points. So the game is still on. Oh, there's the Helio. There's the Helio. My favorite language version of Cyrus, because it's like, hello. And the 20 health Tapu Koko finishes off the Celesteela for the final prize point, nailing the win. Nice. Very good. Very good. That's Frog X right there. That's Frog X Arca. Taking the win. Well played. Well played. That was very nice. A very close game. I can see why both players felt confident replaying these decks. Like, neither one of them changed. Because that was a close match. That was a close match. I really felt like both players definitely had a chance to win that. And I think it depended on the draws, it depended on the moves, it depended on the skill between the two players. There were a lot of factors there. But in the end, Frog X Arca managed to take it. I think we're going to see Game 3. Yeah, we're going to see Game 3 between these two players. It'll be exciting. I wonder what deck they're going to play next. Are they going to stick with the same one or finally change decks? They're sticking with it! All 3 games, they're sticking with the same deck. Frog X is confident in this Arceus deck. Yeah, no problem, Shiny. Generally, it's usually best not to post like YouTube links and stuff in the Twitch chat without asking first, you know. But it's fine, you know. I don't mind. DM it to me. I'll check it out later, or if you want, I'll even play it on stream if you want. Actually, I can't because of how I currently have all the tabs set up. It, I just realized I can't actually play it on stream, or I might accidentally leak something. Um, no, you're good. You're good. You're good. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal. You're good. But yeah, I'll check it out later, and I'll let you know. Yeah, I gotta warn you though, YouTube stuff is a grind. It is a grind. It takes a lot of time. Like you have to make sure you're enjoying it. I know people always say this, and then like, but this is really true. If you're not enjoying it, stop. Stop right now. The odds of becoming big are really small. It takes years to get anywhere. It's a ton of time that eats into other stuff you could do. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. Seriously. Save yourself the pain. Only do it if you're having fun. Streaming and YouTube stuff. Only do it if it's fun. It's like trying to become an actor or an actress, right? It's like trying to become a famous actor and actress. If you make it, it's great. Theoretically, although people post terrible things about you everywhere. But um while you're trying to get there, so many people try and so many people fail, and if you don't enjoy the ride, it's not worth riding, right? That would be my best advice. And don't do it for money. It doesn't make money. I have to warn you. Like I'm at like 3,000 something subscribers on YouTube. Negative money. I lose money on this. Don't don't do it for money. Don't do it to become famous. Don't do it to become a big stream. Do it if you enjoy it. Do it if you enjoy it. That's my best advice. And if you don't enjoy it, run. You gotta have fun. It only makes sense if it's fun. Okay, they're setting up for game three. Meanwhile, I'm giving everyone a little lesson on the warnings of being a content creator, right? Ugh. Now we're getting a little insight into the chat there. Just a little insight into what the players are saying. Yeah, they have plenty of time for the third game. They have plenty of time. Only 9 minutes left. Here we go. What are the rules, by the way, if you run into time? Because I know, like, in the Ursi day, you just go over a few minutes. Does the match end? Like, what happens if they run at time? I'm actually curious, because I don't know the rules for this one. It'll be interesting to see if both players are still running the same deck. FrogX Arca, at least, has run the same deck every match. They lost the first one, they won the second one, and it's really impressive to run the same deck after you've lost a match. That's like saying, I am 100% sure that was just luck, or I made a mistake. I can win this time. Huge respect for FrogX Arca for doing that. We give a little extra time to finish? Gotcha, gotcha. All right. Yeah, both players are running the same deck. Both players are convinced that they can win this matchup with the same deck. They are refusing to change decks. They have the option. They can change to any deck they want. Literally any deck they want. But they are choosing to run the same decks in their final game. I love seeing that because it means that both players are playing the deck they want against the deck they want to fight. They've set up the stage and now it's all skill. And a little bit of luck. A little bit of Sableyes messing with your starting hand, but other than that, all skill. This is an epic best of three right here. I agree, Shiny, 100%. This is an epic best of three. All right, early Tapu Koko rush, early Zeraora rush. You get the energy on both Pokemon, 3 energy after your first turn of the game while your opponent has no energy on the field. That is one of the shocking features of the electric deck. I'm here for the bad puns. But still, Naganadel does tons of damage because of the double Nihilego, right? That's 40 damage plus 30 poison tick, and it's going to be another 30 poison tick even if Naganadel goes down. Tapu Koko not looking so good right now. And without the electric cord, there's no way to pass those electric energies to something else. Actually, it occurs to me, I don't think electric cord can even pass energy to Arceus, right? Right? I don't think it can do that. Doesn't it only work with electric Pokemon? I don't know. I don't know. Someone fact check me there. Can electric cord? They're not running. They're using cape instead of the cord, but perfect start for Goose. Yeah, Goose got a very nice opening. Naganadel double Nihilego with Goose in the back. Great opening. The only problem is you don't have Celesteela, so switching is a little tough, but if you're running with on-curve Naganadel, you don't really need to switch. Victor Cito, hey, love this tournament. Think it requires more skill. Greetings from Spain. Well, thank you, Victor Cito. Greetings. Greetings back to Spain. How are you? Yeah, no, definitely a lot more skill in this tournament, 100%. The fact that you can change decks whenever you want means you can respond to your opponent's deck if you think you have something better that beats it. So absolutely, a lot of skill. I do think that there's also a lot of skill when you know what's in your opponent's deck, because then you can account for it. There are no surprises. But I think this gives you a different kind of skill. This is more when you don't have perfect information, but you think you know what your opponent might be running. Can you counterpick them? So yeah, I think this kind of open format has a lot of different kinds of skills that we can see. There's the Sabrina, possibly a stall move, because it's not really going to be able to be a pickoff, right? Just Nihilego into Nihilego, but trying to buy time for Arceus to build up that energy. Guzzlord player adapted well. Nihilego is useless here. Yeah, we see the one energy retreat doesn't have Celesteela, doesn't need it. And then responds with their own Sabrina. Wow. Just getting rid of the Arceus. Maybe they were afraid of some kind of Ilma stall, right? Some kind of Ilma thing that might let Arceus kind of heal all the damage. That's going to be tons of damage onto the Zeraora. And remember, since they took out Tapu Koko EX, only one prize point is needed, and Arca will go down. We see the retreat back into Arceus. That's going to be a second energy onto Arceus. But if there's a Cyrus, this is over. And I have a feeling there's a Cyrus, otherwise why would you play Sabrina there, right? I have a feeling we might see a Cyrus. Frogx Arca is afraid to end their turn. They're worried about the potential for Cyrus, but there's nothing they can do. There's so many Sabrinas. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Sabrinas. Or use the same deck with little changes, like one card to win your opponent. It's crazy, I love it. No, yeah, absolutely, Victor, you're 100% right. We were talking about that earlier, where you could just make a tiny change to your deck. There's the Mars! There's the Mars. They used Mars, even though it will give their opponent an extra card, because they were worried about the Cyrus. They read it. They read it the same way I did. That's how you know Frogx is good. Even though that was a bad Mars, because you gave your opponent an extra card, they were afraid of the Cyrus pick. Just like I was saying, because that Sabrina only made sense if they had Cyrus. So they read the Cyrus and played Mars anyway. Great play. Great play by Arca. Playing the mind games. I love it. That's a good move. That was a good move. This is one of those things that's so subtle that if you were watching this in like randoms, you think, oh, that was a bad move. That was a mistake. But that was a brilliant move. That was a perfect move. That was like a 99 percentile player move. So good. So good. And we're not seeing a Cyrus. Maybe the Mars worked. We have no way of knowing for sure if that was a Cyrus, but I think it was. I think it was. And Frogx Arca obviously thought so too. Quality move. Yesterday when playing Charizard Sylveon, I thought about adding a fossil back in the day because I was getting Sabrina so much. You could, yeah, fossil tech is real. There are a whole bunch of really cool things you can do with fossil. Arceus finally has enough energy to go forward, but it's a little risky. It's a little risky. If we see a Lusamine here, Arceus is over. But Frogx Arca is going for it. They figure this is their only shot. They lose to Cyrus. They can't really afford to let the game stretch on too much longer. Oak. No Lusamine. No Lusamine. But there's the Celesteela. That's going to be a free retreat for the Guzzlord. He'll be able to get out of there, get out of harm's way, and hopefully buy enough time to get that Lusamine or the Cyrus they need to win. This is an intense match. Interesting. They didn't use the one with energy. They chose the one without energy. It's an interesting choice. They're sacking the one without energy. Playing one Arceus or two. Because it's open deck format, we actually don't know. We have no way of knowing what their deck is. Because it's not registered with Limitless and they can change it whenever they want to. So we actually don't know how many Arceus they're playing with. I will say that we've only seen one Arceus at a time, but I'm not sure. Alright, Arceus is going to attack, picking up the second prize point for Frog Arca. I believe this is the second. Is it the first or the second? Hold on. Second? Yeah, second prize point. The first was Nagana. So next prize point wins, I think, because Tapu Koko got knocked. 1 minute left. 1 minute left. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to this. I'm a little bit surprised that the Guzzlord player didn't put in the Nihilego with energy and just attack Arceus. Because if they had poisoned Arceus, right? If they had poisoned Arceus, Arceus would be in range for this, and they would have won. So I'm not sure what happened last turn. I feel like that was a little bit of a misplay last turn, potentially. Not attacking with the Nihilego. I don't know why that happened. But that basically gave the win to Frog Arca. Oh, Arceus can't be poisoned. Still, it would have done 30 damage, though. Even if Arceus can't be poisoned, it would have done 30 damage. But yeah, you're right. Arceus can't be poisoned. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, just the Nihilego attacking would have done 30, and that would have put Arceus in range of Tyrannical Hole, because that does 120. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Guzzlord couldn't find a Cyrus. Yeah, I guess they were playing for Cyrus. I feel like... Oh, that's it. That's it. I get it. Yeah, Meat explained it. Meat explained it. So they were looking for Cyrus, not Lusamine. So they wanted to hold Nihilego as their win condition, not Lusamine as their win condition. They probably had better odds of drawing Cyrus than Lusamine. Or thought they did. So they were keeping energy on Nihilego to finish it off with Nihilego. But Guzzlord does the same amount of damage for 2 energy. I don't know. Because Guzzlord also does 30 damage for 2 energy. But maybe they needed the poison tick to finish? I'm not sure. Either way, good game. Good game. Oh, Arca's fighting Zegger. Whoa! Okay, we're right into round 4, I guess. And Arca of Frog X is fighting Zegger. These are 2 crazy good players. This is going to be a good fight. Yeah, no, I'm not switching. I'm not switching to anybody else. This is going to be a great fight. I want to see this. I remember Zegger yesterday from the Magma Cup. They did really well. And Frog X Arca, also great. Oh, this is going to be good. We're going to get to see 2 top players face off. Let's go. Yeah, the best move of that game was Frog X Arca playing Mars and giving their opponent an extra card just to get rid of a possible Cyrus. I think that won them the game. I am convinced that they had Cyrus in their hand and that Mars got rid of it. I'm 100% convinced that's what happened. This is going to be a good one. These are 2 titans. 2 immovable objects that are about to meet. Here we go. I gotta get some food after this. Like since I was streaming last night, so just the order of operations. I wasn't feeling well the day before. I ended up falling asleep in the middle of the day. Then I ended up streaming until the evening. Then I woke up. Then I was streaming again. I have not eaten in a while. I need food. So when I'm done here, I'm gonna get some food. But we still have we still have I think two more rounds. This round and then two more rounds. So we still have tons more Pokemon before I am allowed any food. Follow, subscribe, whatever, if you appreciate my efforts. I'm playing my teammate Ferreira. Ooh, good luck, Shiny. Good luck. The lack of Buzzhole might mean Tapu can be played now. Maybe. Yeah, there's a lot less Buzzhole. Definitely. There's still some Buzzhole in the meta, but there's a lot less. It looks like this is a bit of an electric mirror. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. I just realized something, actually. Technically, the opened format is vulnerable to scouting. Hmm. That's not great. That's not great. Anyone familiar with VGC knows what I'm talking about. Is it just me or does it seem like ranked is rigged? I totally get where you're coming from, Austin. Like, every time I switch to a deck, I feel like I get matched with nothing but counters for that deck. And, like, my opponent always gets, like, all the cards they need while I have no Oaks and no Pokeballs. I definitely get where that feeling comes from. I don't think it's rigged, but it does sometimes feel like we have some really, really bad luck streaks. I don't know. I don't know. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Yeah, double Oricorio Zora versus double Oricorio Zora. This is looking very mirror, but there's no way it's mirror. These players are playing different decks. Well, I know Fragax Arca is running Tapu Koko Arceus. I don't know what the other person is doing though. The other person might be doing a Silvally deck. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're running. It's the funny thing. Seeing Oricorio does not tell you what the opposing deck is. Seeing Oricorio plus Zeraora still doesn't tell you what the opposing deck is. They're just like supporter cards at this stage. Wow, sacking the Ori, allowing it to just completely go down. That's going to be one prize point for Fragax Arca. Zegger might be bricked a little bit here. They might be bricked if they're sacking a full prize point this early. We're seeing a second Zeraora, but there's no way that's all their deck is. I think they're missing, like, the core of their deck. They're just not drawing it. We see Giovanni go off. That'll be nice. If your goal right now is to grind to the top of ranked leaderboards, what decks would you main? That's a good question. So I think that's actually there's an incorrect assumption built into your question. You don't run the same deck in Ultra Ball 4 that you do at the start of Master Ball, and you don't run the same deck you do at the start of Master Ball at the end of Master Ball. You have to play a different deck depending on where you are and where the meta is. I would even argue that the start of Ultra Ball 4 and the end of Ultra Ball 4, you run different decks. But I would say that okay, let's say that you're starting from Ultra Ball 3, right? You're starting from Ultra Ball 3. Silvally pretty good. You know, if you can play like 300 games, play Silvally Rampardos, because you'll eventually win, right? Just Silvally Rampardos if you have 300 games to play. But like, if you want a higher win rate, it kind of depends how good you are. If you're really, really, really good, like one of the best players in the world, play Greninja, Sylveon, Giratina, right? That deck is really hard to play, but crazy good. On the other hand, if you're like one of the top players, like one of the top 10,000 players, but maybe not one of the best players in the world, then I would take a look at the meta and try to counter it. Like if we're seeing a lot of Buzzhole stuff, you should play Zard. If we're seeing a lot of like Giratina Darkrai, it kind of depends. Maybe play Buzzhole. But you know, if you're seeing a lot of like Oricorio stuff, play Silvally. You know, just play whatever's countering the meta thing that everyone else is playing. That's what I would do. And then when you get to Master Ball, you want to start getting a little more creative, right? Master Ball rewards creative decks a little bit more because people aren't doing bad things. As funny as it is to say that, Master Ball is like a little bit easier because people aren't playing bad decks. So you can build more creative decks in Master Ball. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the game. I was answering Austin's question. But basically, when you get to Master Ball, um, you can kind of build more creative decks that give you more options because that's what you're playing against. Because Master Ball players really like options. They like creative stuff. You'll still get like Silverly Ramp and stuff, but you have a little bit more leeway because people aren't going to be going for that. There's a 1 out of 1 million chance I win on turn 3 with this deck. You know, people aren't playing that because they're in Master Ball. They can't afford to play that. So they're playing more consistent decks, which lets you play more consistent decks. So the in Master Ball, you want to try to deck build a little bit, build something a little bit new, a little bit shocking, surprise people, catch them off guard, and you'll have a little bit more time in a game to do that. Sometimes, depending on the meta, not always. There are some metas where that's not true. So I think to answer your question, I would start by playing a simple, consistent, a simple all-around good deck like Silverly Ramp or something like that. Play like 50 games. Get a feel for the meta. Then play whatever counters that meta, right? Or just a solid meta deck that you're comfortable with, that you think you could win more than 50% with. Play that, get to Master Ball. Once you get to Master Ball, modify or build your own good deck, or play like a really, really hard to play deck, like Greninja, Silverly, Giratina, and get good with that. And then that's how I would climb to the top. Another thing you could do is just play all of the top meta decks and shuffle between them. I've seen like Judy do that and be pretty successful. But you have to be really good to do that, right? So that would be my advice. That would be my advice if you were just start ranked right now and try to get to Master Ball. All right, let's talk about this game. So we're seeing Silverly, type null Silverly, and that kind of makes sense from what we saw from them before, right? The Eureka Rios Aurora. I was kind of wondering if they had type null Silverly in there. This will be interesting to see, because Silverly is kind of like the prototype Arceus, right? Like we tried to make Arceus and it didn't work. Artificial Pokemon, in the same way that Ditto and Grimer and Mewtwo are all like attempts to make Mew. If you didn't know that, Grimer is a clone of Mew that they flushed down the toilet because they didn't realize it was alive. That is true. That is canon information. Ditto was the next attempt, which is why it's a little bit better than Grimer and can use Transform like Mew can. And then Mewtwo was the next attempt. They still have not successfully cloned Mew, but they're getting closer. You just destroyed my childhood. You're welcome. Yeah, now Pokemon's lore goes deep. The lore goes deep. But yeah, Type Null is basically a clone of Arceus. It was meant to be an attempt to reproduce Arceus, which is why when it evolves into Silverly, you can also give it an item that lets it change to any type, just like Arceus has the plates. It's sort of, humanity's attempt to recreate these crazy powerful Pokemon. But of course, it never works quite right. It never works quite right. Which is how we got like Genesect and Mewtwo and Type Null and all these like artificial Pokemon. Alright, there's Gladius. We're gonna start seeing Silverly come out now. Possibly. Unless they got a really bad roll. Did they not get the Silverly? Whoa, they didn't get it! Oh, that's such bad luck. They probably just drew another Type Null. But if they drew another Type Null, why wouldn't they play it on the bench? I'm confused, actually. If they got Silverly, why wouldn't you play Silverly there? But if you got Type Null, why wouldn't you put it on the bench? I'm not sure what they were thinking. Actually, I'm not sure what Zegger was thinking there. Maybe they just really wanted a Rio to kind of wall off the Tapu Koko, but I think taking Arceus out would have been more important. Because that's only Frog X's first prize point, right? Yeah, that might have been a slight misplay. I think putting Type Null on the bench would have been better. Now they're doing it, but I don't know. Alright, that's going to be 50 damage into Arceus. It's hard to know though, right? Because we don't know what's in their hand. Maybe they have a Cyrus. Maybe they have a Cyrus, and that makes this move really good. Because Ricario is immune to Arceus. But if they had the prepped Silvally, they could just go in, knock out the Arceus, sack a Zorora, retreat into that, sack it, cycle back into a Ricario. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and then they got Sabrina out of the Ori anyway. Yeah, no, they should have. I think it was a mistake. I think it was a mistake. I think they should have gone into Silvally last turn and just finished off Arceus completely. Just taken it off the map. Would have been 2 prize points. Really powerful position. Might have been a slight misplay by Zegger, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We don't know their hand. We don't know the situation. Let's ask the professionals. What do you think? Psyduck's not sure. Actually, can I make Psyduck shrug? Let me see, like, how do you shrug? Like, you gotta raise your shoulders, right? But Psyduck doesn't have shoulders! Look, there's no shoulders! The arm just connects straight to... No shoulders. Psyduck can't shrug. It's confirmed. I guess you could still go like that, maybe? I don't know. Maybe, like... Nope. Nope, Psyduck just goes straight to freaked out mode. It doesn't work. GG's 4-0, it's 100% qual day 2. Yo, nice! Congrats, Victor, that's awesome. Well done. Well done. 4-0 is crazy impressive. Ricario comes back in, finishes off Arceus. But here's the problem. Zerora can come in and take out the Ricario, or... Ooh, it's not going for a Ricario. Wait a minute. Actually, maybe Zegger's big brain. Maybe Zegger was thinking 5 turns in advance, and I was only thinking 3 turns in advance. Hold on. Can Silvally knock out Tapu Koko? I don't think it can. But Zora, right? You just attack with Zora. Don't you attack with Zora here? I'm not sure. Maybe there's not enough time to put energy on enough Pokemon, and Zegger actually wins this. Maybe Zegger's big brain. Maybe Zegger's crazy big brain here. Does 0 damage, but it'll still give the energy to Tapu Koko, which is why they did that. But a Ricario is going to put Tapu Koko into range of Silvally. Maybe Zegger is crazy big brain. They were thinking even further into the future than I was. With the second Ricario on the bench, Sabrina can no longer steal a Pokemon for Tapu Koko to attack. It's not possible anymore. Yeah, you gotta go for the Zera. Has to be done. That'll be 50 damage. And it's all going to come down to Cyrusing now. If Silvally has Giovanni, that's it. That's game. Zegger takes it. Whoa! I was saying that Zegger messed up, but Zegger didn't mess up. Zegger just thought even further into the future. Even further into the future than I was. They were like, yes, I will lose 2 prize points. But I'll eventually draw another Ricario, stopping Sabrina, and there's no way my opponent will be able to put energy on the Zera in time. Strictly speaking, I think the Zera should have attacked last turn, not Tapu Koko, so maybe Frog X Arca also played it a little bit, I'm not sure. But still, great game. I wonder if Frog X is going to stick with this deck. Like, every time they take a look at all their decks and are like, should I play something else? And then they're like, nah, and they stick with the same deck. But now, up against Silvally, I feel like Silvally did brick a little bit that game. We'll see if they change their deck. We'll see if they switch their deck a little bit. Because you're allowed to do that in the open. That's the whole point. Yeah, they always like take a look at the other decks, but then they just lock in the same one. Arca is very confident in this deck. By the way, let me know if there's anything I could do to make the stream better. Like, one thing I noticed a lot of people do is they'll put like music in the background, but I don't know how to do that. Where do you get like copyright free music that you can put in the background? If anybody knows, let me know. Like, I've always been like terrified of touching anything music related because of copyright reasons, right? But like there are things where you could find music that's not copyrighted and put it in the background. I think that would be a little good. Like the it just kind of adds to the scenery and stuff. Just YouTube copyright free music? Hmm, maybe. It's a little tricky though. I don't know if I completely trust everything on YouTube that says it's copyright free. Maybe. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Thanks, Meat. Oh! Oh, they did switch decks. They're going Silverly Ramp into Mushroom Soul Galeo. Both players switch decks. The day two, it's tomorrow, same hour. Actually not sure. Maybe someone else can answer Victor. I don't know what time Top Cut is tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming the GGB tomorrow. But I think there will be another cool streamer. I'm streaming Top Cut tomorrow. Possibly Desty, possibly someone else. Not sure. Yeah, don't trust it. MST did that and got hit with a strike. Well, yeah, no, whenever I use YouTube's like free music stuff, I research it first, right? Like I look into it first. Because some of the stuff, like there's like licenses and stuff, and I don't know. Okay, Connor said same time as today. Same time as today. That's good. As Silverly ramp into Mushroom Solgaleo. So both players decided to switch decks. I guess Silverly ramp to kind of counter the Silverly Ricario. And that is the right answer. Silverly ramp does counter Silverly Ricario. But Zegger was ahead of them and like countered the counter. Like, okay, I bet you're gonna switch decks, so I'm gonna switch decks. I'm gonna use Soul Galeo, which counters Silverly. And it sort of does, sort of doesn't. Actually, Silverly Ramp versus Solgaleo is a weird matchup. I haven't seen it that much, but it's a pretty good one. It's definitely a fun one. Because both players have the possibility to do big damage. Right, Solgaleo can do 120, but it's an EX Pokemon. You can't let it go down. And it takes a lot to evolve it. Silverly is a little bit cheaper to get running, but it only does 100 damage, and it has less health. So it's kind of a good matchup, like who's caping, who's healing, who's attacking first, you know? Can you win before Rampardos comes online? Ooh, they got the full Leftovers! Leftovers is so good on Solgaleo, because it heals the recoil damage. That's savage coming from Zegger. The type null just goes straight down, and that fossil is not in time. Even if it turns into a Rampardos right now, I don't think it's going to be able to knock out this lion. Whoa. Oh. Did I speak too soon? Did I speak too soon? Rampardos is online. This is going to be some big damage. Thinking about the Iono? It's risky. You might give your opponent better cards too. But in this situation, you really gotta get that type null. Or a second fossil. You need something. You need something. Because Rampardos is not going to be enough to win the game by itself. Massive damage to the Solgaleo. Even if it heals with Lily. It's not going to be enough. But it might not matter. Solgaleo can do enough damage to Rampardos that Rampardos will actually destroy itself when it knocks out Solgaleo, which will win Solgaleo the game if there are no more Pokemon on Frogx Arca's side. It's type null. You gotta draw type null here. Oh no. Arca's bricked. They're just gonna attack and go down. That's it. GG. Even though it's only the second prize point for Zegger, and they're both tied at 2 prize points, because Frogx Arca has no more Pokemon on the field, the battle is over. Zegger wins. Well played. That was a good match. If anyone could take out Arca, it would be Zegger. Well played. I think Zegger is undefeated now, 4-0. Makes sense. Very good player. Very good player. All right, I think we're coming close to the end of round 4. There are only 6 rounds, I believe. So there'll be 2 more rounds that we can watch. Taking a little look there. Oh, whoa, Brendan is playing? Yo, that was the champion from yesterday. Let's see if their game is still going on. No, it looks like they're done. Yeah, they just finished a game. Yeah, I think all the games are finishing up for round 4 right now. And take a look at just some of the other players, see if we can find someone to stream, catch the end of their games. It's kind of in the middle of one. Let me see this one. Just take a little peek. Ooh, Garchomp! I want to see this. Let's watch Garchomp. Wah! Wah! What happened? There we go. Fixed it. Garchomp versus Buzzhole. That's wild. Alright, we see the Formosa kind of pecking at that fossil in the back. Very nice. Love to see it. Formosa is one of the best anti-fossil cards in the game, because it not only damages the active Pokemon, but it'll take out a fossil in 2 turns. And it'll force you to either discard the fossil, potentially, or you have to just risk it going down. Though, that's another thing you can do. You can just evolve the fossil. Yeah, heck, if you can turn it into Rampardos, you're good to go. And we see Garchomp kind of sniping the Buzzhole in the back there. Very nice, getting it into range for later. That's going to put the Buzzhole player in a bit of a tough spot. Technically, Rampardos is also in range of Buzzhole. And Formosa's super effective against Garchomp, which is just extra funny. This is a wild matchup. Alright, Garchomp is going to get... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right move is here. Do you sack Rampardos to get rid of the Formosa? Do you bring in a second Garchomp? Do you let your first Garchomp go down? I don't know. I don't know what the right move is. There's so many possibilities, because if you KO Formosa, you go all in, you KO Formosa, and they heal Buzzhole, you're out of luck. Wow, actually Pokecomming away the Garchomp, even though they could have evolved a second Garchomp, to get Sylveon to draw 2 more cards, getting back the Garchomp EX. That's a play. That's a move right there. But they only got 15 seconds left. Have to decide what they're attacking. The second energy does go onto the Garchomp, and it is going to take Formosa out with 100 damage. It's going to be the first prize point for Bamboo, 400. Now, Buzzhole comes in here. If Buzzhole is able to heal, it can just destroy this Garchomp. But if Buzzhole cannot draw Erica, then it can't risk it. Otherwise, it will go down to Rampardos later. Ooh. Big brain play. Cyrusing in the Rampardos to take it out with Buzzhole because Garchomp can't do enough damage to finish it off. They didn't get Erica, but the Cyrus will be good enough. That's 1 prize point for Mai. And now, Bamboo needs to figure out who they're bringing in. Alright, they go with the second Garchomp EX. Keeping the other one safe because it's taking a bit of damage. Putting another fossil on the bench. Giving Garchomp the energy it needs, and Linear Attack is going to go off on Buzzhole, dealing 50 damage and putting it in range of the other Garchomp. They're threatening checkmate right here. Mai has to do something to fix this situation, or they've lost. Alright, we see them bringing in Kartana. They're going to Ultra Thruster in Kartana, get Buzzhole out of danger, out of trouble, bring in Kartana. This is going to do 60 damage, because remember, it's super effective against Garchomp. Putting Garchomp back in range of Buzzhole. Now, Bamboo is in danger of checkmate. They have to fix the situation. But I think they just drew a card that might help them with that. They're deciding which Garchomp to Lily, kind of leaning towards the one in the back. An interesting choice because wait, what? Yeah, they could have gotten a higher health on the one in front. I don't know. I guess they just want to keep both Garchomps as healthy as possible. Maybe. Maybe that's sort of the play. All right, that's going to be the second prize point for Bampu. Once again, Maya's in trouble. They're bringing in Celesteela. Celesteela can tank Garchomp, but, you know, not for that long. Not for that long. That's a 2-hit KO. You've got to do something. Mai plays Oak, trying to draw something to get them out of this situation. Garchomp is looking scary. The double Garchomp is looking very scary. But if they can take just one of them out, they win. Just have to find some way to get rid of this crazy land shark. With Professor Oak played, they can't play a supporter card this turn. Mai puts down a second Buzzhole. Possibly going to see some energy go down. And there are only 2 cards left in Bampu's deck. They've been using Silvally to great effect. Even just having one Silvally is enough to give you a lot of draw. Mai is really thinking about this. Alright, energy onto the second Buzzhole. And I think they're just going to end their turn here. Yeah. Bit risky, though, because Garchomp is going to do 100 damage into Celesteela. And here's the problem. Celesteela can get taken out by linear attack next turn, after that 100 damage. So once again, Bampu is threatening checkmate. Mai has to get out of this. They've been going back and forth every turn. I'm threatening the win. No, I'm threatening the win. No, I'm threatening the win. But now it seems like Bampu is threatening the final win, the final checkmate of the game. You know, check. Can you respond? Can you get out of this? Sabrina is played. Ooh, that's bold. Bringing in Garchomp EX would lose them the game. Cranidos would also go down, but they brought in Sylveon EX, which has enough health to live. And there's the surrender. Realizing that Buzzhole could not possibly take out that Sylveon, and the game would be over next turn, we see Mai surrender, giving the win to Bampu. Well played. It seems like the Garchomp ramp is doing pretty well. You know, that deck saw its time in the sun, then it disappeared, and now it seems like it's back again, with Sylveon making the deck even better. Alright, that's going to be the second win for Bampu. Well played. Well played. Yeah. OMG, bro, phew. Yeah, acknowledging there. Because, like I was saying, it was like they were trading checks and checkmates every single turn. That was wild. That was crazy wild. Alright, I think we're nearing the end of this round. Are we getting into the next round? Let me see. Yep, round 5. Round 5 has begun. Who are we going to spectate? You know, I kind of want to see more from this Garchomp. I kind of want to see a little bit more from that. Maybe let's watch a little bit more of this player. I want to see some more Garchomp EX. That looks pretty good. Alright, there are only 2 more rounds before the end of today. And we're getting a little bit of a peek at the standings here, seeing which players are going on. Zegger went 4-0, Calvin's going 4-0. Mai, their opponent, looks like they were 2-2. Ryuka is 4-0, doing very well. I've been playing Garchomp non-stop on ladder. Really, Yuki? How's that been going? Is Garchomp doing pretty good? I've had some people recommend Garchomp to me. Okay, there's 1 match finishing up, and then we should get into the next round. It's very good. Ooh. How many EVs do you run it with? Because I was wondering about that, because the new Garchomp, it's like 2 Gibble, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Garchomp EX, right? How many EVs? And what do you do for like an Arikario counter? Do you run like one normal Garchomp, or is the Cranidos? I guess Cranidos is the Arikario counter. So yeah, you don't really need one. So what is it, like two fossils, two Gibble, two rare candy? Can I stream on Discord? I think so, yeah. Are you still playing, Victor? So you can't be on the stream if we're watching you on stream. But if you're not watching the stream, then you can stream and we can watch you, if that makes sense. Basically, no stream sniping. Even yourself. You can't stream snipe yourself. But yeah. Yeah, you should be able to stream. All right, let me minimize this because I don't want to leak whatever they're doing on their phone. There's just one game. We're waiting for one game to wrap up, and then the next round will start. But yeah, Victor, we'll give you a watch. Just make sure you're not hop off the stream if we're watching you. That's the only thing. You can't be on stream when we're watching you. You can be on stream when we're watching somebody else who's not you or your opponent, but you can't be on stream when we're watching you. That's the only thing. Because that would be stream sniping. That would be cheating. But yeah, you can absolutely stream. Disobeyed! Yo, how are you? Finally, I get to respond to you in real time. I feel so bad because you always hop on the stream when I'm doing the Sunday GGBs, and those have a 10-minute delay, and I can't say anything. It is great to be able to respond to you in real time. How are you doing? Oh my goodness, it's been a while. How's the Wargroove 2 community? Yeah, we're just there's one more game wrapping up, and then we're gonna start round 5. I think round 5 has technically started. Let me see if anyone starts streaming their games. Take a peek. We could watch Brandon too. They were the champion of yesterday's tournament. Okay, no, not yet, not yet. We gotta wait for one more game to finish up. There's one more game that's going a little bit long, and we can jump into that. Yeah, good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Yeah. No, I get you. I get you. I mean, Wargroove 2 is fallen off a bit. It definitely has. I think the heyday of Wargroove might be over, but you know, as long as there are people keeping it alive, as long as there are folks keeping it alive, it'll still be a fun place for people to stop by. You know? I think it's probably gonna be permanently one of those small communities that's just being kept alive by the old veterans at this point, but Macro Maps has been doing a great job. They were here earlier, actually. Macro hopped in the stream for a while. But yeah, as long as there are folks who continue to run events and people who continue to play in them, Wargroove will continue to live on. Let me see. Does anyone know who the last game is? Because I'm just waiting for the last game to drop. Oh, here we go. New stream over here. Has the round finally begun? Round 5. Wait. Taking a little peek, waiting for it to load. No. No, no. People are hopping on the streaming channels, but they're waiting for their opponent. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it started. It started. It started. Good, good, good. Are you gonna visit Barrett? I can't. For a number of reasons. I started a new job. I can't be country hopping right now, unfortunately. I'm super sad about missing that. Yeah, but I unfortunately cannot make my way there right now. Oh, okay, let's check out Victor. Let's check out Victor. Victor's gonna be streaming. Oh, nice, game starting. All right, let me put this on the screen. Boop, here we go. And this is Victor, who was in the chat until just recently. Victor, make sure you are no longer in the chat. You are not allowed to be in the chat while we're watching you. When did you get affiliate? GJ, though. Did I get affiliate? I have no idea. Like, yeah, honestly, I don't even know if that's turned on for Twitch. Like, I got the thing for Twitch like years ago and I never turned it on, so I have no idea. All right, we're watching Victor, who seems to be playing a Guzzlord Nihilgo deck. That deck's been pretty popular against Eevee Rampardos. Eevee Rampardos. Is this a Sylveon ramp deck? Oh, it's the Garchomp deck. Okay. Wait. Who's Victor's opponent? Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, Nap. No, it's somebody else. It's somebody else. It's not the same player we were just watching. That would have been funny. That would have been funny. Oh yeah, Victor's playing another Garchomp deck. Wait. Wait, what? Wait. Okay, no. This isn't Hilgo. This is Giratina Darkrai. This is Giratina Darkrai. I was tricked. I was tricked by the Nihilego. Yeah, no. This isn't a Guzzlord deck. This is a Giratina Darkrai deck. Threw me off for a second there. Threw me off for a second there. Ooh, interesting. Eevee does a hyper early swap into Cranidos. That's a very aggressive move. Normally you'd want to use Collect, like draw some more cards, but it's super effective against Nihilego and one-shots Nihilego. Oh, that's such a cool tech. I didn't even realize that. That's a brilliant tech. Yeah, it's super effective so you can one-shot it. Whoa. Yo, that's really cool, actually. I didn't realize you could one-shot Nihilego with Granados. And now Giratina's got nowhere near enough energy to fight this. Oh, that's smart. That is really smart. I mean, I kind of want to root for Victor a little bit, because Victor was, in chat for a while, but I gotta give the opponent props for that. That was a cool move. That was a really cool move. Even Psyduck is freaking out. Oh my goodness. And then fully evolves into the Rampardos. That was on curve. And Victor just surrenders. Oh my goodness. Did the surrender go through? No. They were hovering over it. They decided not to surrender. And then Rare Candy into Garchomp. What is this? Just completely popping off. This is wild. Garchomp EX is going to be able to snipe the Giratina even if it retreats. Even if it retreats and then heals, it still goes down to the Garchomp bench snipe. You need to double heal it. You need to double heal it and retreat it to save this. Victor's doing it. Victor is committed. 100%. We see Leaf go off. Retreat into Darkrai. It's not going to save it, though. I don't think that's going to save it, though. Giratina stacks up energy. It's got energy for days, but Rampardos can keep swinging. Oh my goodness, this is crazy to see. Giratina Darkrai is getting taken apart. Nothing could beat that. What we just witnessed, nothing in the game could survive that brutal onslaught of Cranidos on curve ramp. Silvally draw Garchomp EX bench threat snipe. Oh my goodness, the humanity. Look at Victor's decks. They're all gold Pokeballs. You can't actually see what they are because everyone is a gold Pokeball. That's wild. Alright, yeah, I feel bad for Victor. They went 4-0, right? They were undefeated. And then the second we start spectating them on stream, they get completely run over by a Garchomp deck. I feel bad. That's happened to me before. That's happened to me. That happened to me in the Spraggles tournament, actually. I was going undefeated, and then the second they started streaming me, I started losing. Oh my goodness. The curse of streams. It's the curse of streams. Alright, well, we'll see if Victor picked a different deck for this matchup. Possibly, maybe not wanting to go Giratina Darkrai against that again. Oh, but their opponent has switched decks too. Alright, looks like Victor has switched to a Mushroom Solgaleo deck, and their opponent has switched to a Zard deck. It's going to be Zard versus Solgaleo. This is funny. I think Solgaleo actually counters Zard. Even though you'd think Zard would be better, if the Solgaleo deck does have leftovers, then it can actually outspeed Zard, get online faster, and overrun it. I've seen that happen before in a mirror in GGB. It's actually really crazy to see, but Solgaleo theoretically beats Zard. It depends. It depends how they've built their decks. It depends. So we'll see if they're able to pull this off. Oh my goodness, my throat's getting a little hoarse. Oh, thank you, Psyduck. All right, the Mars was super effective, but I think it did give Victor some options. You know, you got to get the Cosmog online. No Cosmog, no chance. You have to get Cosmog. Oh, maybe it's not Zard. Maybe it's not Zard. No, it's Eevee Party. I think it's Eevee Party. Yeah, Fire Energy, but for Eevees, it's not a Zard deck. It's an Eevee Party deck. Oh, Eevee Party might beat Solgaleo, actually. I'm not sure, but I think Eevee Party beats Solgaleo. Especially in this position, because there's no Cosmog. It really hurts to play Solgaleo without a Cosmog. You just can't do anything. Yeah, putting energy on the Shiinotic. Oof. Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Using that Sabrina just to stall a little bit. Leafeon coming onto the field. This is the funny thing about the Eevee Party deck. Even though it runs Fire Energy, it can still use Leafeon to give itself Leaf Energy and then power itself up the remaining way with Fire Energy. So it's just this weird combination. It's like Leafeon is on fire. I don't know why that zoom is happening. I'm not doing that. I am not doing that zoom. I think Victor's internet is being attacked, potentially. Alright, good. They got the Cosmog. Needed. Needed. You really need that Cosmog to make this work. We see a second Shiinotic evolve that's really good. That'll be a lot of card draw for Victor. Another Cosmog, nice. We could see some counterplay now. Victor's finally got their setup. They've got Exodia. They've got the Cosmog. They've got the energy. They've got double Shiinotics. They've got everything they need to start fighting. The only thing is, can they survive? Interesting choice from... Why is it not moving? Ooh, Victor. Victor, the internet. Fix the internet. Alright, Leafeon self-powers and does a free retreat into Flareon. Fire Spin goes off, obliterating the mushroom in a gout of flames. Nope is doing very well, and now Victor will only have one Solgaleo worth of prize points to win this game. Hyper clicking on that Shiinotic, just desperate, trying to draw that Solgaleo. Gets it. Rare Candy goes off, but here's the trick. Solgaleo has to defeat this Flareon, and it cannot go down. If Solgaleo goes down, Victor loses the game, and in losing the game, loses the whole match. Massive damage onto Flareon, but there's no leftovers, and Fire Spin is super effective. Flareon also has 30 health, so it can afford to do 20 damage to itself to get extra energy because it lives with 10 health. It's just barely hanging on there. We see Eevee Bag. That's going to boost the damage, not heal Flareon. Flareon is fearless and red. That's plus 30 damage, plus an extra 20 for being super effective. Fire Spin does 180 damage to Solgaleo. And Victor has just been obliterated. Oh, I feel so bad for Victor. They were 4-0. They were undefeated. The second we start watching them, they get wiped out. Well played to Nope. Well played to Nope. They picked very good decks and had a little bit of luck in game one. Oh, that was brutal to see. That was not a Pokemon battle. That was a Pokemon obliteration. Oof. Well played to Victor. I mean, Victor didn't do anything wrong there. There was just nothing they could have done. Their opponent just had the right deck at every moment and got the cards they needed and just won the game. I don't know what else to say. That Garchomp deck looks fun. Yeah, we gotta try that Garchomp deck. If anyone's running that Garchomp deck, give me a deck list. I want to try that. Looks pretty cool. All right, we're still in the middle of round 5. I'm gonna try to spectate Zegger maybe. Zegger has been undefeated so far as well. We'll see if the curse of being undefeated continues. If undefeated players continue to drop. I don't know. I have some water. Alright, Zegger going for type null. They've been favoring that deck. It's a very good deck. It does have some weaknesses, but it's all around a generalist deck. You know, there's nothing that completely counters type null, I want to say. There's very few things that just, like, completely destroy type null 100% of the time. I can't do anything? Yeah, we saw Victor. We saw. That was brutal. I was saying it. There was nothing you could have done there. Ricario on the bench. This is actually like a perfect setup from from Zegger. You got both type nulls. You got one Ricario, one Zera, and the Zera's gonna get energy, I believe, because it was on there on the first turn. Yep, there's Thunderclap Flash, gets the energy. Perfect setup. Perfect setup. The only thing that could have possibly been better is like a turn 1, like, no, not even that. Not even that. This was literally a perfect setup. Charmander has taken some massive damage. But Sylveon into Oak. We might see Zegger's opponent get that on-curve Charizard that they need to survive here. Eevee goes down, but I'm not seeing the Zard. There it is! There's the Zard, right in the nick of time. Saving Charmander. It's fully evolved, sprouted its wings, and ready to stoke? It didn't use stoke. What? What? Huh? 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 Why didn't it stoke? I'm very confused why the Charmander did not attack there. I mean, the Charizard, it could have gotten energy. And it was just like, nah, I don't need energy. I'll just put it on my Eevee for some reason. I am very confused why that happened. Huh? Huh? Apparently, Sableye just decided to sabotage the opponent's brain. I don't know what happened. It seems like they're just using Charizard to stall. Like, maybe they're sacking Charizard to build up Flareon EX. That could be what we're seeing, potentially, but I don't know. What? And Charizard lives! Impressively enough, Charizard lives. The Silvally player did not use a supporter card. Lily gets played on Charizard, keeping it alive. And Charizard is using Stoke now? Why? Hello? What is happening? This is the craziest game I've ever seen. If Charizard gets away with this, if Charizard gets to live despite this, then this is the single craziest Charizard play I have ever seen in my life. There's Guzma, which has the ironic double function of making Charizard go down to 50 damage, and making Silvally do more than that. Charizard goes down, and I don't understand why it didn't stoke at the first available opportunity. That was funny. Maybe there was a big brain play buried in there somewhere, but either way, it's all up to Eevee now. Iono is played. I'm guessing they don't have Flareon. Maybe Flareon no EX? Maybe, but how? Maybe? Okay, yeah, it looks like Vito was right. A non-EX Flareon, which does exactly 110 damage. Very consistently. The problem is, doing this after you've lost Flareon, sure, it could threaten out the Oricorio, but the problem is it'll go down to Silvally plus Oricorio. It'll go down to a lot of things, actually. I'm a little bit worried about this. Toby! Yo, we got Toby in chat. How are you doing, Toby? Flareon just slaps. Flareon is powerful for sure, but I don't think it can solo win the game. That's what's worrying me a little bit about this strategy coming from the Flareon player. Actually, let's see if we could add a little bit of music. A little game music, because it's kind of hype. Yeah, sure enough, Silvally puts Flareon at exactly 20 damage, and we see the concede. That's the problem. Even though Flareon can eat Silvally's for breakfast, it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to be able to survive the Oricorio. Maybe they were hoping for double Eevee bag survival? Maybe? Maybe? But it didn't work out. It didn't work out. I think Zard should have just stoked. I think Zard should have just stoked. I think they tried to get a little bit too big brain, potentially. But it was cool to see. It was crazy to see. Alright, are they going to switch decks? Is Zegger going to switch decks? Yeah, we've seen them do this. They're switching to the Solgaleo Mushroom deck. Here we go. It's awesome to have you here, Toby. I hope you're doing well. I gotta figure out how to set up that thing that, like, combines the YouTube and Twitch chats. Starting Cosmog. That could be really good or really bad, depending on the situation. Oof. Oh. Oh, Zegger got walled. That's not what you want to see. That's not what you want to see when you're playing Solgaleo. You don't want to stare in the face of the pom-pom bird of death. Nope. Solgaleo will do 0 damage to that thing. Alright, Zegger's got an uphill battle right now. They've got an uphill battle. I think this might be match point. This is potentially match point. You know, whoever wins this might take it. This is a tough situation. Zegger, I think, is undefeated. They have 4 wins. I think they're moving on no matter what. Right? They're moving on to day 2 no matter what. But I don't think it's possible for them to win. I don't think it's possible for them to win. We'll see. We'll see if anybody could figure out how to do this, it's Zegger. It's possible they could play for a tie. We talked about this. It's possible they could stall out the Oricorio with the mid form of Cosmom. Maybe. Maybe. If anybody could do it, Zegger could do it. I don't know if they have the tech, though. Alright, early Mushroom, trying to draw the tech, right? I guess you put the energy on the Mushroom here. Maybe you try to threaten a Oricorio? Wow, they didn't do it! They didn't put the energy on the Mushroom. You put the energy on the Mushroom, you get Shinotic, you could at least attack a Oricorio, try to take it out, right? But they're not doing it. 4-1. Nice, Shiny, let's go! You made day 2 then, I think. Congrats. Yeah, alright. Cheers for Shiny in chat. Awesome player / organizer made it to day 2. Big congrats. Alright, the Mars is coming out. Zegger's just doing everything they can to stall. There were a lot of cards in that hand that just got Marsed. They play the second Mushroom, giving it some energy, and they're just gonna keep teleporting around. It's all Zegger can do. They're desperately trying to hang on against this Oricorio. Meanwhile, their opponent also has Mushrooms. I'm wondering what they're trying to draw, because, like, Mushrooms don't draw Oricorio. You don't use Mushrooms to draw Oricorio. They've got to have something else in that deck. And we haven't seen it yet. Just double energy on the Morlul? Solgaleo's out, but that's not what they want. That's not what Zegger wants. Zegger wants Cosmom here. Zegger wants Cosmom or Shiinotic and has not been able to get either one. At this point, you kind of just have to sack something. Interesting. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. Retreating into the... Wait, what? Why would you retreat into the full health Morlul? That might have been a slight mistake. That might have been a tiny mistake there. Because if Zegger retreats into the full health Morlul, it can't attack later. It can't attack later. I don't know about this. What's the easiest way for players to stream the game? Some judges ask for this in the matchup chats. So you create a Discord room, and then you share screen with Discord. That's the easiest way to do that. As to how to create a room, I think there's a button for it. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe one of the staff, if they're here, could mention that. I think there's a button. We see Lily go off on Sol Galeo, just trying to stall for as long as possible, but without Cosmom, it's going to be difficult. Meanwhile, their opponent is also bricked. Their opponent has just been stacking energy on the mushrooms. Sure thing, Trio. Where's the middle evolution? There it is! There it is! Toby, you willed it into existence. The middle evolution is online, and now the Cosmom stall has begun. And with leftovers, it'll continue to heal 10 health every turn. So the goal for Zegger is not to win. The goal for Zegger is to try to not lose, and with a 50 health shield every single turn, hopefully they can succeed. Sabrina is played. And Zegger sends in Sol Galeo, willing to take a little bit more damage on the Lion, but we see the Magnemite! Magnemite finally coming out for Zegger's opponent. They've been trying to pull that all game. They've been bricked on that. But hilariously, because Arikaria walls Zegger's entire team, it didn't matter that they were bricked. This is incredible. What game is this? This is Pokemon Pocket when one person is playing Arikario and the other person is playing Sol Galeo. That's what game this is. It's Zegger versus... I'm not 100% sure who their opponent is, but it has been funny. It has been very funny. Yeah, Magnemite on turn 16. I don't know what's happening anymore. I think a little gremlin, potentially, has been messing with the RNG to give us this wonderful game. Arikario continuing to do 0 damage to Cosmom as Zegger tries to stall for as long as possible. It's tough, because once Magnezone comes out, I don't think Cosmom can tank. But if Cosmom can heal enough, if Cosmom can heal enough to survive the hit from Magnezone, then Sol Galeo can come in to duel the Magnezone, potentially. No! Guzma! Guzma obliterated the leftovers! There's no more healing! The healing is gone! Magnezone comes out! Is this the end? Cosmom can live this. Cosmom can live this. It survives with 20 health, so it can retreat and fight another day. Zegger has made it to turn 20, but can Zegger continue to hold on? Can Zegger continue to stall? Rising Road activates, the Lion comes in, but it just doesn't have enough damage to take out Magnezone. Yeah, Toby is 100% right. The issue is that Magnezone can survive with that 20 health. Lily goes off onto the Magnezone! And it's gonna take out Sol Galeo here. And I don't believe that Zegger has anything left that can survive the next strike. It was an honorable attempt, but this is a bit of an I told you so to Prelux from yesterday, who gave me the quiz question, what deck can survive, right? What deck can survive Arikario? And the answer was Cosmom. I'd like to point out, this usually happens when you try to stall out Arikario with Cosmom. So, I wasn't completely wrong. I wasn't completely wrong. Wait. They got a second Solgaleo! Yo! It's not over! It's not over! They brought in the second Solgaleo to take out the Magna Zone! It's not over! Whoa! Okay. Oricorio comes in and zaps the Solgaleo. Now every single Pokemon is in Oricorio range. Now I think it's over. What can you do? Yeah, that's GG. Okay, now it's over. Now it's over. It wasn't over a second ago, though! Zegger tried. Zegger tried. But mad props to Kura. Kura was just too good. Was just too good. Win-loss, loss, win-loss. Yep, that's GG. That's GG. Well played. Zegger tried. Zegger tried, but Akura just had it. That starting Oricorio, that was a funny game. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. That was a funny game. I think we're on to the final round. Right? Yeah, I think we're on to the final round now. This is the last chance for players to try to qualify for day 2. Zegger is already qualified. Like, they were undefeated in the initial part of this. Let me see. Ongoing tournaments. Scroll down to Pokemon Pocket. Gonna click on Magma. And just take a look at the standings real quick. We want to see who's undefeated right now. Let me see if I could put this on the screen, so that everybody could see the wonderful standings. I'm gonna try to delete this ad first, so you're not spammed with this ad. I respect ads. Ads are how websites are funded. I appreciate ads. I have officially viewed the ad, but I'm going to remove it because I don't want to put it on the screen. Okay. I think I've deleted it. I don't know. Alright, sharing the screen there. Here we go. Alright. There's always another ad. Pay no attention to the developer's console. That is only for deleting ads. Okay. Alright, so right now, it looks like only a few players remain truly undefeated. Loska has the highest opponent win rate with a 5-0 record. They've been beating the best of the best. Closely following is Calvin, who's been doing very well, 60% opponent win rate. After that, we have Kura, or Kura. Also 5-0, great win rate. Tin's been doing good. Yukaha, So, Sina. Lots of Japanese players placing very high. One member of Magma representing. They've only gone 4-1, but their opponent's win rate is 73%. That's crazy. Opponent win rate of 73%. That's pretty good. That's very respectable. Magma member with 66% opponent win rate, 4-1. Really nice. Yeah, these are some great players. Major shout out. Zegger, also in the top 11. Bay, Skywolf. Serious major props to all these players. And they've all qualified for day 2. It seems like the cutoff is about here. So around top 24 so far has qualified. Yeah, so 24 players have currently qualified for day 2. And a bunch of other players, anybody with 3 wins, I believe, has the ability to qualify. So quite a lot of players who technically could qualify. Since there's only 6 rounds, you know, you only have so many chances. So I think, yeah. Shubham! Shubham is not out yet! Shubham could still qualify! It's not over. It's not over yet. Shubham could still qualify. They're at 70. They're literally the last possible person who could qualify with an opponent win rate of 29%. Good luck, Shubham. You can do it. Alright, so there's about 50 players who still technically have the capacity to qualify for day 2. Meanwhile, 24 players have made it. What is happening? Oh, I'm still screen sharing. Hold on. Yep, fix that. Okay. Yeah. 24 players have made it to the second day, and an additional, 46 players could still make it. Shubham being the absolute last player who has just met the threshold to possibly make Game 2. but they have to win this. They have to win this next one. Everybody who has 3 wins has got to win the next round because there are only 6 rounds. There are no more rounds after this. This is the final round upcoming. The upcoming round is the last chance for players to get in to day 2 and go for those prizes. So good luck to everybody who's still playing. There are 5 games ongoing, and after that we'll get into the final round, and we'll get to see if anybody else has the ability to qualify. This will be exciting. Game 2 will be streamed same time tomorrow. Somebody else, though, I stream the GGBs on Sunday. I can't say check it out, because I guess if you're checking that out, you're not watching this, but on days you're not watching this, check out my Sunday streams, where we do the global gym battles. I'm usually streaming from the perspective of Squad Zero, team battles in Pokemon Pocket. Very exciting. But yeah, the top cut for this, the Magma Open Deck, will be tomorrow, same time. Someone else will be streaming it. They'll put the links in the Discord. So definitely check that out. Check both things out. Be in 2 places at once, curse you. I don't know. If you can somehow like use double team and watch both at once, definitely do it. I don't know what I'm saying. It's hashtag stuff that only makes sense to streamers. Oh, okay. I'll stop. All right. Connor, let us know when the next round is started. What decks have been good so far today? The Garchomp deck has been amazing. Silvally has done pretty well. I like the deck Frog X players were running, the like Arceus electric deck. That was really cool, especially since Arceus is like immune to being poisoned. That's really nice against all the Guzzlords. I kind of like that. But it has some nombos, you know, some not combos. Like one thing that bothered me was Electric Cord didn't really work very well with Arceus. Would be cool to have you backcasting some other time for sure, though. Last game is Solga versus an Ori trying to stall. Another one? How many times is that happening? That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, so the reason that round 6 hasn't started yet, the reason that I don't get to eat today yet, is because there's another Solgaleo deck that is trying to stall out an Oricorio. That's pretty funny. Going 6-0, wish me well. Yo, Loska! Let's go! You're 5-0 right now, going for 6-0? Yeah, we'll absolutely spectate you. Are you also Loska on Discord? Let me know, I'll watch your stream. Started now. Oh, it just started! Okay. Alright, let's check out Loska. Loska99. What is your... does anyone know their Discord name? Loska99? I kind of want to check out one of the players going for 6-0. Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay, we're not sure. Well, wishing Loska luck, but if I don't know what their Discord name is, I can't spectate them. So we will spectate. Eeny, meeny, miny, Maxell. Spectate. Oh, nope, they're not screen sharing. Revan. We'll spectate Revan. My opponent will stream. I can't right now. Who is your opponent? Wait, why am I typing this? There's no delay. Let me know who your opponent is, Loska, and make sure you're not on the stream if we're watching your game, because that's very much not allowed. So make sure you're not on the stream when we're watching your game, but let me know who your opponent is so that we can watch them. Let's see. We'll check out Revan, I guess. Yeah, we'll check out Revan for now until I find out differently. I'm going to just server deafen Revan, because it won't let me do regular deafen for some reason. Okay, their game hasn't started yet. Nah, I don't know if I want to watch that one. Are they switching decks? If they switch decks, we might watch Revan. I want to pick a good like interesting deck, like an unusual deck to watch in the final round. Yeah, no, I don't want to watch that one. I not because of the player, just because of the deck. Just kind of shopping around for deafen. Shopping around for a good deck to watch. Okay, we'll watch this one. Deafen. There we go. me put that on the screen. Boop. Last round, last chance. Some players are going for 6-0 to try to be undefeated, and others are just trying for that final win so they can qualify for day 2. Emotions are running high. Everybody's having fun. It's time for the final round of the Magma Cup Open Pack Day 1 in Pokemon Pocket. We'll try to spectate as many people as we can. So, Game 1, we are watching... Ooh, wait a minute, got a ping. Ah! Oh, it looks like they're going for the classic Froggy deck, the pink ninja deck. Yeah, everybody's playing meta decks. I was looking at like all the different streams. Everybody's playing meta decks. It's round 6. Nobody's messing around. They want to go for tried and true decks and try to get that final win. Whether it's the last win they need, or they're just going for style points and want to go undefeated. And I think only like something like 3 people can go undefeated, actually. I'm streaming on Discord, same name. Alright, we're actually gonna hop to Losca. Sorry for the last minute change of venue. Same name? I don't see it. Are you you? It was nice having you. Wait, Trio! Trio, you can't watch stream while we're watching you, Trio! Hold on, no, that's not allowed. Hold on. Alright, well, we're switching anyway, but for a future reference, Trio, you can't watch the stream if we're watching your game. Because that's a big no-no. That's a big no-no. Yeah, you can't watch stream when we're watching your game. We're not currently watching your game, so you can stay on stream, but... Alright, partly my fault, because I wasn't very clear as to who I was watching, but... Yeah, just so everybody knows, you can't watch the stream if your game is being featured, because that's cheating. Because then you can, like, get advice and stuff from other people, and, you know. Yeah, we need a better way of making sure that the person we're spectating is not on the stream. Hopefully that's something we can do going forward. Because the community button doesn't tell me, that's the problem. It doesn't show me all the viewers. It'll only show me, like, active viewers who are active at some point in time. Whoops, I can't click that button or the stream disappears. Click the button real quick. Stream, there we go. Sorry, it's okay, now you know though, now you know. We're spectating Losca now, so yeah, you can stay here, it's fine. Though the game hasn't started! The game hasn't started! Makes sense, I thought you could only see my screen. Yeah, we could only see your screen, but the problem is that, like, if you can hear me, right? You can hear me, so you might get advice from the commentary. Like, I might say something like, oh, I bet the opponent has a Cyrus, and you may be like, oh, wait, they have a Cyrus? You know, just stuff like that. So we just gotta make sure that I'm not, like, giving advice to the players, because that would be cheating, right? So while your game is being featured, even if it's your screen, you can't be watching the stream. That's the only thing. Just to make sure we're keeping it legit and fair for everybody. But you're good. You didn't know. It's okay. Now you know. Just making sure. Is the game starting? Is the game starting? Losca's going for 6-0, but their opponent might, like, just be like, I'm moving on. I'm done. Hopefully Losca can fight. Hopefully Losca can fight, or we have to switch if Losca can't fight. I mean, Losca specifically asked. You know, I kind of like what they were going for. I'm going for 6-0. Wish me luck. And I'm like, yeah, I want to wish you luck. Let's spectate Losca. But if they don't have an opponent, we can't watch them. If they don't have an opponent, we gotta watch somebody else. What do we do? Are there any judges in chat? Do you know if their opponent is checked in? Do you know what's going on? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Okay, I'm gonna switch. We're gonna watch somebody else. I know we're hopping around a bit. We're hopping around a bit, but we gotta watch somebody else. We'll come back to Losca. Opponent has not checked in. Okay, their opponent might have just ditched. Yeah, because I mean, if Loska is 5-0, their opponent is probably also 5-0. So their opponent might not be paying attention. It's entirely possible. Okay. Um we're gonna hop for right now. We're gonna go to Bampu. Watch them for a bit. All right, it's the classic Electric Frog deck, possibly with or without Arceus. Sorry, the Electric Arceus deck, maybe. Up against Giratina Darkrai, kind of like the old school Giratina Darkrai deck versus the new school Electric deck. It seems like Tapu Koko has already knocked out an Nihilego very successfully, but Mars is getting played. Gonna mess up the Electric deck's kind of hand a little bit. Cape goes down on the Darkrai in the back, but Giratina is not ready to attack yet. One more Space-Time Bellow. It can attack next turn for big damage, but Koko is going to get to strike first. That's going to be big. That's going to be huge. Because that means that if Giratina doesn't have a prize point... Wait, let's check. Do they have prize points? They do have a prize point! Oh, wow. So the next player to knock out an EX Pokemon wins. This is tense. Bampu has switched to a Ricario to tank because they're worried that Tapu Koko would not be able to survive Giratina plus Darkrai. Doing big damage to Giratina, kind of trying to get it in range of Tapu Koko if they can. Get it in range to knock out. Darkrai starts poking the Ricario. Good news, Loska went 6-0. Bad news, they didn't get to play. Yeah, I had a feeling that Loska's opponent just DQ'd. So congrats to Loska! Going undefeated already! So good that they've already won round 6. Alright, meanwhile, back to Bampu. So Ricario is doing massive damage to Giratina. We see Sabrina get played. Interesting. Forcing the Darkrai forward and getting more harass onto Darkrai. Trying to just put more stuff in range of Tapu Koko. I'm not sure if the Sabrina was needed there, but it might have been drawdown, right? Playdown, right? Get stuff out of your hand because you win on Cyrus. But then Sabrina comes out. Obvious move, choosing the Zeraora to sacrifice. Because anything else would lose them the game. They had to put the 1-point Pokemon up in front. But can Darkrai even afford to take it out? No, it can't. If Darkrai took it out, it would go down. We see Bampu is very excited about a certain card they have. Showing it to the stream. They had to switch to the other Darkrai, because if the weaker Darkrai had attacked, it would have lost. Zeraora goes down. That's the second prize point for Gregor Master. But, if Bampu has Cyrus, they can take it right now. If not, they lose the game. Or they have to stall with a Ricario. It all comes down to this. They do have the Cyrus. Tearing in the Darkrai to the front, Tapu Koko is going to knock it out. Their opponent concedes, and Bampu wins the first round. I think this is the first game of the final round. But remember, there are 2 more rounds, and both players are allowed to change their decks. Ooh, is Gregor Master might be 3-2. If Gregor Master is 3-2, Gregor Master has to win this to move on. We could be watching a qualifier match right now. We could be watching a qualifier match. Whoever wins this best of 3 might move on to day 2, and the loser might not. This is intense. This is it for these players. They've got to win. Alright, with 1 win, Bampu is looking pretty good. Can their opponent overcome them? And will either player change decks? Because remember, you are allowed to switch decks at any time. Bampu is looking over their deck. They're looking over their other decks, their options. Ooh, I see a Garchomp. Pick the Garchomp. They can't hear me. Pick the Garchomp. It would be cool. I didn't see what they picked. I didn't see what they picked. Oh no. Alright, well, we'll see if Gregor Master has changed their deck. Here we go. That's Tails. Bampu gets to go second. It's looking pretty good for Bampu so far. Eevee start. Interesting. They've definitely changed decks, yeah. And Sylvly, both players have changed decks, with the Giratina Darkrai run by Gregor Master has now become a Sylvly deck. And the Tapu Koko electric deck has now become some EV variant. We're not sure which one yet. Both players have changed decks. Oh, it looks like it's going to be Silvally Ramp, and they got an early fossil. And that Flareon probably means this is an EV party deck. With the Flareon, the Leafeon, right? A whole bunch of the Sylveon. So it's going to be EV party versus Type Null for the second game in this best of 3. We see multiple EVs going on the bench. Both players kind of have their initial setup. And the first Fire Energy goes on the starting EV. We're probably going to see Collect get used here. And that's going to give one more card to Bampu. Meanwhile, the Silvally player had to go first, which is really bad for a Silvally deck. If they had been able to go second, they might have been able to do a lot of interesting stuff here. But they still get heads with Type Null. That's going to be 40 damage onto EV. Very nice. And they've got that Granados in the back, threatening super effective damage on any EV. But EV evolves into Leafeon. Even though this is a Fire Energy deck, one of the cool things about EV Party, which is what this deck is called, is that it has the ability to use Forest Breath to give itself the Leaf Energy that it needs. And then it can power itself up with only Fire Energy from there on. Flareon EX, ooh, nice art on the Flareon. Coming onto the bench, deciding to put the final Fire Energy onto the Leafeon. Are we going to see Solar Beam here? Kind of checking out the opponent's discard, saying, do I attack here? Do I not attack here? Let me kind of suss it out a little. And we're going to go for a red card here, just to shuffle the opponent's cards. Now, this is a 3-for-3 Mars. This is a 3-for-3 Mars. Get rid of 3 cards, draw 3 cards. The only reason to do that is if 1, you're trying to draw down, get rid of your hand, and 2, if you think your opponent has something good and you want to get rid of it. Personally, I'm not sure about that Mars. I don't think there was enough evidence that their opponent necessarily had something good in their hand, but it might have suggested a Rampardos. That was possible. Either way, we see Gladion into Silvally, Brave Buddies goes off, and Leafeon is flattened by the perfect 100 damage. That early coin flip with the Type Null really mattered, as it got just enough damage for Leafeon to be taken out. And now, Flareon is in a tight spot. It can get 2 energy in one turn, but it can't get 3. It's not going to have enough energy to start attacking this Silvally just yet. And so Bampu is a bit on the back foot here. We see Leafeon into a Professor Oak potentially, getting lots of draws, but yeah, the Professor Oak actually won't help in this situation. They need more energy or more time. Gonna play the Oak though, because Sabrina wasn't really any better. Get some interesting more cards for the EV party, but can Flareon even get the energy it needs? Combust goes off, Flareon's gonna damage itself for 20 for that extra fire energy. There's not really much more it can do. Thinking about using EV Bag? Yep, just gonna go for a nice little heal here. Just top off Flareon, keep it nice and healthy. But ultimately, Bampu is on the back foot, and Gregor Master might be able to tie it up 1-1 if they can win this game. Gregor Master needs this win. They need this win to get into day 2, if I saw their score correctly. We see red get played. Oh, that is devastating. That's going to let Brave Buddies do 120 damage. This is critical. Flareon only has 30 health left. Only has 30 health left. If it damages itself for more energy, Cape is going to give it an extra 20 health. It's going to be able to knock out Silvally here, but doesn't have enough health to survive Granados. And if it goes down next turn, that's game. Bampu realizes this. They're thinking if there's any way they can get out of this. But the problem is Silvally can also do 50 damage. Recognizing that there's nothing they can do to save the situation, Bampu is just going to attack, going to go down swinging, but this is over. Gregor Master's going to take game 2, and the score will be tied with 1 win after this attack. 1 win a player. It's all going to come down to this final game. It's all going to come down to game 3. Winner take all. Who will move on to day 2, and who will get left behind? The tension is on. And we'll see who wins this final battle. I'm excited. Are you excited? Good on Gregor Master taking the second game. It's all going to come down to this. It's all going to come down to this. I want to double check. I want to double check. Let me see. Scroll up a little bit. I want to see the scores. Yes, 3-2. So Gregor Master needs this win to move on to day 2. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Which deck do you pick if that deck decides if you move on or not? Yeah, let's go. That's a good deck. That's a good deck. They picked the Garchomp deck. All right, Bampu picked the Garchomp deck. This is hype. This is hype. I wonder what deck Gregor Master picked. Because this is it. They're fighting for survival. They're fighting for day 2. You want to try to make day 2. This is it. We see Gibble start from Bampu. EVEX start from Gregor Master. It looks like they're running Eevee Party again. Maybe they thought, they just had bad luck last... well, they won with it last time. They won with Eevee Party last time. So Gregor Master's probably thinking, okay, I won with it last time. Let me play it again. It's a good deck. All right, early Fossil is really nice for Bampu. That's going to be very scary if that can turn into a Rampardos. Or even just a Cranidos does a lot of damage to Eevee. Cranidos can one-shot regular Eevee and do 70 damage to EVEX, putting it in 20 damage range. Alright, Eevee uses Bite, which actually does half of Gibble's health. If Bampu does not have a rare candy evolution here... Of course they do, though. Of course they do. On-curve Garchomp. That is some luck right there. That on-curve evolution, saving Gibble from... And they got the Cranidos. Wow, these draws. Insane draws from Bampu. Insane draws. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, the Gremlins seem to be messing with Gregor. They do get their Leafeon, but it's taken so much damage. I'm not sure if it's in time to be able to deal with the Garchomp. Oh, we got Prelux in chat. Hey, Prelux. It's great to have you. Prelux is an amazing streamer, by the way. I believe Prelux's stream yesterday got like 4 times the numbers this stream got. Just saying. Just saying. The inside joke there is that I was also on that stream. But seriously, it's true. Prelux pulls in the numbers. I'm telling you. Massive damage to Garchomp. It's super effective. 110 damage. Actually legit, though. I gotta say, Prelux was retaining more people than I've been. Maybe the secret, the secret is having Prelux is just better for the stream. I'm not joking, actually. Rampardos comes in. Massive damage to Leafeon. Leafeon gets taken out. Rampardos suffers huge counterattack damage, and Garchomp is also severely weakened. Oh, wow, it's all going to come down to this. It's all going to come down to this. But Leafeon doesn't have enough energy. Leafeon doesn't have enough energy to attack. Oh, no. Silvally gets drawn, using Happy Ribbon to try to resolve this crazy situation. Pokeball gets played. I think there might be a play here. There might be a play here. I haven't started speaking Japanese yet. 大変ですよ. Leafeon wa... No, I don't know enough words to accurately describe the game in Japanese. Yeah, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I think the right move would have been... I can say it now because it already happened. I think the right move would have been to self-power Leafeon, retreat Leafeon, put energy on Leafeon, tank with Sylveon, retreat Sylveon and then put more energy on Leafeon. And if you could retreat into Sylveon's twice, yeah, it still wouldn't be enough energy. It still wouldn't be enough energy. That's the problem. Oh my goodness. What is DDR? Dance Dance Revolution? Okay, okay. Pralex and Shiny like to troll me a little bit in chat. Rampardos does massive damage to Leafeon. It's just hanging on. But unfortunately, unless we see like a second Leafeon EX, Oh, they got a second Leafeon, but it wasn't EX. If that was a second Leafeon EX, this Leafeon could have retreated into that Leafeon, and it could have knocked out Rampardos, potentially, and then cycled into knocking out Garchomp, but it's just a regular Eevee. Eevee Bag was played to heal the backline Leafeon EX, but the regular Leafeon is up against Rampardos. It's gonna be able to knock it out with super effective damage, but the problem is it can't attack next turn, and the Leafeon EX is out of energy. Oh my goodness! Trolling sneaky? I definitely don't do that. Oh, the chat is full of people who troll me right now. We got Disobeyed, we got Pralux. We're just missing Psychoia. Gabite evolves. This is very intense. My joking about the levity of the chat is in direct contrast to the seriousness of this match. But Garchomp can just snipe. Oh no! Linear attack goes down, wiping out the Leafeon EX. And Bampu is going to be moving on to day 2. Unfortunately, Gregor Master has been defeated and will not be able to move on. This is the open deck format, where players are allowed to switch decks whenever they want. Team Rocket not even needed. Psychoia! When did you get into the YouTube chat? Did I summon you into existence? Hold on. How long has Psychoia been there? Oh my goodness. Incredible game. Seriously, well played to both players. I don't know how saying the name of someone summoned them into reality. I feel bad for Gregor Master. They were so close. One win away from getting on to game 2, but Bampu played really well. And ultimately, Bampu's decision to switch to a different deck to counter Eevee Party won them that game. Their decision to switch to the Garchomp deck and Gregor Master's decision not to switch decks. I think ultimately that's what decided it. In the open format, you need to be able to switch decks, to counterpick, to counterpick, to predict in your mind what your opponent's going to do and then stop it, right? And I think Bampu was able to do that, and that was the win. Sneaky, can you say Mastro RQ? We're testing it? What? I don't know what you mean. All right, well, that's the end of today's day 1. Some amazing players are going to be moving on to day 2. Actually, you know what? Before we wrap up, let's see which players will be moving on to the second day. I'm going to pull up the standings, and we're going to see who made it to day 2. Just put that on the screen. Boop. Okay. Standings. Here we go. Okay. It looks like it hasn't completely updated yet, because there are some players still fighting. So I'm going to look at it from the perspective of the pairings. Okay. Calvin is moving on to day 2, and Tin, who you can't see because they're over here. Let me make that a little bigger and a little smaller so we can kind of fit it on there. Okay. Calvin, with a record of 5-1, is going to move on, and Tin, who has gone undefeated, is going to make it to day 2. Kira has also gone undefeated. Very well played. And Loska. Yeah, the 3 undefeated players are Tin, Kira, and Loska. Great names. You've probably seen a few of these in other tournaments. You can only kind of see the top of my head, but that's okay. Calvin is going to be moving on with a 5-1 record. Yukaha is moving on with a 5-1 record. WX Chan is going to be moving on with a 5-1 record. Very well played. Magma's own Esdeath, I guess that's an anime reference, is moving on with 4-2, and so is Sina. We have Sidalope, who's got 5-1. Yuri Sla is going on. Victor. Shout out to Victor and Zegger. We featured them a bit. They're going to both be moving on. Revan 3000 with 4-2. Masapi. We've got Red Sang So. Oh my goodness, there are a lot of names. Bay, Derek Who, and Skywolf. And we got a bunch of members of CLT and Magma representing. I'm not going to read all of the names. We just went through the top 10. But congratulations to everybody who's made it on to the second day of the Magma Open, part of the $10,000 tournament series, even though this particular tournament has a prize pool of like $71, but you get to compete for the chance to enter the $10,000 tournament. So it's pretty cool. I hope everybody had fun on this stream. That's it for today. And we'll catch you tomorrow, same time, different streamer, but same time, for Day 2 Top Cut to see who will win the very valuable mystery ticket and a chance to get to the $10,000 tournament. I'll catch you later. And YouTube, you still see me tipping my hat awkwardly for another second as I press some more buttons.